Welcome, everybody, to tonight's Sport Management Club special NBA Draft podcast here at YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And also, we're recording this for future use. Hopefully, as soon as I hit the record button, we're using this for future use as well. I've got a few guests with me here today, and I'm going to introduce them here in a moment. But I just want to make one last plug for next week, or not next week, December 4th. On a Friday at 1 o'clock, we've got another SMC virtual speaker series coming live here at YouTube and on Zoom. So get signed up for that. It's with Cam Fuller from the Horizon League. We just got off with the Seattle Mariners' Mike Mendolia, and it was a great conversation. Kyle and myself held a great conversation with him, and he gave us some wonderful tips about getting ahead in the future careers for students. So with me today, and I'm going to switch over to gallery view, I have got with me a few of our students. Kai Biami, senior, if I recall correctly. Junior, senior? Which one? Junior, my fault. Junior. I thought he was a senior. I gave him more credit than was needed. Junior, we've got Chase Oden, and we've got Aaron Braxma. We've also got SMC president, two-time SMC president, Kyle Clay with us. Guys, come off of mute. You don't have to go on mute. I wanted to unmute you as I introduced you, but I want you to be unmuted now. So the first thing, we're getting ready, as I've got the NBA draft right above me here. And Chase, I know it's in front of you. Kyle, I'm guessing it's somewhere around you, behind you, it looks like. Aaron, I'm not sure where it is with you. And Kai, I'm guessing it's in front of you. So you guys have the draft in front of you, but first let's talk about, I came from the NBA bubble. You can see my background here, but we've had a recent announcement for the National Basketball Association, and that was the decision to start the regular season. So let's kind of run down a little bit what's going to happen with the NBA's upcoming 2020-21 regular season. So according to what I was reading, and tell me if you guys have read something different, the team's players have to return to their market by November 30th. Is that correct? That's what I've been reading as well. COVID testing starts to take place December 1st through the 5th, but the guys cannot start working out with their team until they get 3 negative PCR tests. You guys been reading that same thing? Sweet. You can talk. It's okay. You don't have to shake your head. Not like I have to have full control over this thing. Practices begin December 4th or the 6th, depending on certain situations. The preseason scheduled to begin on December 11th through the 19th, with the season beginning December 22nd. Now, guys, tell me your thoughts on that. We'll start with Aaron. What are your thoughts on that, as far as Aaron, who also writes for, I think it's 8 points, 9 seconds, right, for the Pacers. He also does some freelance writing, as well as being a student at IUPUI. So read his stuff if you get the chance at 8 points, 9 seconds. So what are your thoughts on starting December 22nd?
Well, there's two options, either December or January, and I think December made the most sense for money-wise, even if LeBron wanted to cry about it all the time, but he can't control the NBA, so they decided to do what's best to make them the most money. And
so they're saving what, $1.5 billion is what they said? They're saving by starting it in December instead of January. They're saving $1.5 billion. Is that what I read?
Something like that. But this way, they'll have to rush free agency, draft, and everything. So I feel like trades will happen sooner than later, so you can get the most chemistry as possible.
So that makes me ask, why now? Why December 22nd? Is it because of the Christmas day? What do you think, Chase?
From everything that I've seen, is they are probably scared because the ratings for the restart weren't very good once other sports picked up. So they probably want to get back to that same. They were hoping to dominate ratings more. So they're probably hoping to get back to that same schedule, because they're, with this deadline starting on December, they are going to be able to finish in July, like late July. I think it was the 22nd would be Game 7 if we went all the way.
So they're back to the regular,
their
right?
Main schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to get back to normal as possible. With more details, 72-game regular season, March 5th through the 10th is the All-Star break. May 18th through the 21st, there's a new system introduced for 2020-21. right? I'm having a hard time saying 2021, right? I got to say 2020, 21, right? So there's a play-in tournament now, May 18th through the 21st. Kai, talk a little bit about that. You're shaking your head. This year we saw that at the bubble, right? We saw a bit of a change in things, and now it's taking shape.
Yeah, I love the idea. I believe it's seeds 7 through 10.
Yeah, according to what I've got here, 7th highest win percentage hosts the 8th highest win percentage one game. 9th highest win percentage hosts 10th highest win percentage one game. 7-8 winner to host 9-10 winner.
Yeah, I like it because it gives teams that are catching fire late to have the opportunity to make the playoffs, and those 8th seeds that may have been playing really well early in the season but are now dropping off. It gives a chance for them to be eliminated and have a more competitive 1 through 8 seed matchup. So
here's my question, right? Washington Wizards went down to the bubble. They would be in a play-in game. Should that be the case?
I think so. I think it just further proves the point of, do you deserve to be here? And even if a team that many people, believe shouldn't be there, well, then beat them.
You think Phoenix had something to do with this whole shift in attitude about the 9-10 matchup?
For sure. And I think it sucks for Phoenix because they did everything they possibly could to make the playoffs. And
over the course of 8 games, right? They were able to run the table down there, but it just wasn't quite enough to get them in, right?
Yeah, and that sucks. But I think it showed the league that, we should do these play-in tournaments because, if that opportunity wasn't available for Phoenix, maybe they wouldn't have played that hard. Maybe the NBA restart that entertaining.
That's a fair point. They were definitely entertaining. Kyle, do you want to throw in anything on this this little discussion about the schedule? What do you think? As an NBA, I guess you could say not necessarily the biggest NBA fan, what does this do to you knowing that you have a season coming up mid-December? It's going to go till mid-July. We're back to normal, right? Does that make you want to maybe think about watching or, what?
I mean, it still fills the void of, that gap of, no football and then no baseball. So it gives me something to watch in there, but I don't know. Personally, it doesn't really do much for me. I mean, it's going to do stuff for, the NBA followers and people like that, but personally, it doesn't really affect me.
Going to make you want to follow the NBA?
Probably not really. I mean, I just watch the Pacers games, and other than that, I don't really follow along unless there's a big game on ESPN. But I don't know. Basketball is one of those sports that I like watching it live more than on TV.
Fair enough. A nice plug there for ESPN on our non-sponsored live stream. So, gentlemen, let's shift our brains now. We've gotten the regular season into the mix, and I wanted to talk about that because obviously it affects me directly. Being an employee of I think of the Pacers, but it might be the NBA now. It affects me directly, but maybe doesn't affect you as much. But let's shift our gears now. And 45 minutes time, right? Well, no, 16 it says on TV, but it's really not going to start according to official time until 8:30. But let's just dive right in. I've been looking at CBS Sports' mock draft, right? They got LaMelo Ball going 1. Right, they've got James Wiseman from Memphis going 2, Anthony Edwards from Georgia going 3, Obi Toppin from Dayton, and I'm not even sure how to say his name. I'm guessing it's Avdia. Is it Denny?
Yes,
Denny Avdia. That was what was actually going to come out of my mouth, but I wasn't 100% sure that I would get it right. From Israel, right? So there's already 2 Europeans or Middle Eastern, European, whatever. On the board in the top 10, according to CBS. So I'll start with Aaron. Aaron, what are you thinking? What are your top 5 and why?
You want me to go in order, because it's kind of hard to tell order?
Well, that's what we do is try to put them in order. Who's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Well, there's a difference between what order they're going to go in the draft and how.
Oh, we got to argue semantics. Oh my Lord. No, I want it to be pick 1. Who is your prediction to go to the Minnesota Timberwolves at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, at 5?
I think it's going to go Anthony Edwards at 1, James Wiseman at 2, either LaMelo Ball or Onyeka Okongwu at 3. Depends how much they love Okongwu, and it seems like they do. Probably Denny 4, and then Obi 5.
All right, Kai.
Yeah, this is hard because I want Timberwolves to trade that number 1 pick. But if they have to pick it, I definitely have Timberwolves taking LaMelo at 1. Warriors taking Wiseman at 2. Edwards going 3 to the Hornets. 4, maybe Obi, maybe Denny. 5, probably whoever doesn't get picked between Denny and Obi go at 5.
I'm not sensing a commitment here to a 4-5.
Well, I have a top 5, but when you have to put team needs into it,
I'm not talking team needs right now. That's a later discussion. I'm talking right now, your top 5.
Oh, top 5: Wiseman, Edwards, Ball, Ngaku, and Isaac Okoro.
Complete shift from what you just said, right? Ball was 1 in what you just said, right?
Well, my top 5 really isn't. It's just my top 5. I can't put them in order. It's just top 5.
See, you gotta put them in order though. When you're doing a draft show, you gotta put them in order, man. That's part of the battle here, right? All right. So you got Wiseman 1, or you got Ball 1?
Wiseman 1, Ball 2, Edwards 3, Ngaku 4, Okoro 5.
All right. So you got Wiseman 1. Aaron, you said you've got.
I have LaMelo as the most talented, but I have Edwards.
I didn't say
1.
that. I said you're number 1.
Edwards.
Edwards is your 1.
It should
okay.
be Edwards.
I didn't say that. I said your pick for the 1.
Edwards.
So you're Edwards. So I've got a Wiseman and an Edwards. Chase, your top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knock it out.
I didn't even go with talent. I went with who I like the most. I have Halliburton as 1.
Okay. Now he was sitting at 6 according to CBS.
Yes, but there is some stuff about the Timberwolves liking him. But I have Halliburton, then Edwards, and then Killian Hayes.
Oh, he's at 8 according to CBS. Another European.
Then I have Okongwu from USC with Wiseman etching out the 5. I'm not a fan of LaMelo, so he didn't make it in there.
Yeah, me neither. Kyle, I'm going to throw you under the bus. It's charging at you at 80 miles an hour. Your top 5. Okay, first off, you're starting off on a bad note.
I'm going to go Edwards number 1 to the Timberwolves, and then Ball number 2, Wiseman number 3. I'm going to go Patrick Williams number 4 to the Bulls, and then I'm going to go Obi Toppin number 5 to the Cavs.
Okay, now here's my question. With the news today that I just read earlier about Onyeka, right, with his toe, is that going to impact his standing?
Not at all.
No.
I don't think it should.
Okay, now support it.
It's minor. They said it was about 1 to 3 weeks recovery time.
Okay.
Nothing permanent about it, so it shouldn't affect his stock at all.
Okay. All right. So that begs another question, and that's with the announcement of Thompson unable to put weight on his leg. What is that going to do for the Warriors?
I don't think it'll.
Not literally on the floor, but like in today's draft.
I think they'll still look to move. They're looking for a veteran wing, so that's going to be if they can find that impactful guy on the trade block. Which, if it hasn't happened yet, I don't see it happening now unless they get real frisky.
That's the first time Frisky has been dropped in the video. Just to let you know, Frisky for the first time. We've done 4 of these shows, and that's Frisky is the first time.
But I still think they go with a big man, either Wiseman or Okongwu. If they,
no, I remember you reading that in the group text message, or you telling us that in the group text message. I remember reading that. Aaron, what do you think? Going to affect anything?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they go Edwards or LaMelo, depending who's still on the board. But because I've heard they like LaMelo, but Wiseman makes the most sense if they want to win now. But I think LaMelo under Steph Curry would actually be very good for his future.
I think I remember you saying that in the group text as well. Kyle, I'm going to bust on you again.
Number 2.
No,
I think
the Klay Thompson thing.
Yeah, that's the Warriors, number 2.
What's going to happen?
I mean, I think they're going to go with LaMelo. I mean, I predicted them to go LaMelo when I said my top 5 picks. I mean, like Aaron said, I think he's going to match pretty well under Steph, and that backcourt could be pretty lethal with LaMelo and Steph Curry.
Got to throw a shout out to Ashton Whalen. I just saw him at the orientation session the other day. He's coming into IUPUI, coming in as a sport management student. So welcome to Ashton.
Welcome.
I see Jacob Aminian in there. I
Yes.
see he's
I asked
predicting
for-
Melo
I
one.
I asked for top 5 picks, and he goes number 1, LaMelo.
And then
not
there's
top
no
5
more.
picks again. That's
Yeah.
not top
Yeah.
5 picks, bro.
Miserable failure on that one, Jake. Miserable failure. 5, not 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to our rundown. So, what are the biggest needs here in the lottery? Anyone? Table's open.
That's
let's
hard.
go. Let's go with the T-Wolves first. Let's go with the T-Wolves first.
I feel like the T-Wolves, they need to be in win now mode and not play it safe. That's why I want them to package that number 1 pick and possibly move down, get some pieces to put around D'Lo and Cat, and then maybe take one of the later rookies or package it for a superstar if one's available. But overall, I feel like they don't really need the number 1 pick, so they should trade it, get some pieces, and be in win now mode.
Aaron.
Well, they need defense first of all because their 2-star players can't play a lick of defense at all. So
He's opinionated, folks. That's why you should read his column.
yeah, I'll say my opinion. So that's why LaMelo doesn't really make sense to them for me. But Anthony Edwards has the frame to be a defender if they want to pick someone in the draft now, or they just trade it for some pieces that could play defense and offense alongside Cat and D'Lo.
Chase, give it to me.
I would see them probably going with either a guard like Edwards, who has the capability, it looks like, to play defense. People have said that his shot creation won't translate as well with how packed Georgia was. But I would think he's the best choice because even then, if he does get the ball, we saw D'Lo, even though this was in college at Ohio State, played off ball constantly. So maybe he can return to that, even if they take someone like a Tyrese Halliburton at 1 who can distribute the ball very well.
Kyle, anything going on in the chat? That would be a no. Yeah. Well, wait, he's here. Okay.
There's actually, some going on. Jake was upset that we came after him like that.
Yeah, we did him like that. I'm not apologetic about it at all.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, I could screenshot it and share it on Twitter. It just says 1 LaMelo. and right above it, it says, let's hear your, I'm not going to say it. Let's hear your top 5 picks. And then 1 LaMelo. Okay. Yeah. That deserved a calling out. Noah Stranahan gave us his top 5. What are they, Kyle? Oh, no. Man, this is going to be rough.
He's got Edwards, Wiseman, Melo, Obi, and Hayes.
What do you guys think? We got somebody throwing in the chat. Noah's throwing in his top 5. What do you think? Edwards, Wiseman, Melo, Obi, Hayes.
I think Hayes is slept on. The only thing I don't like about Hayes is scouting reports are saying that he uses his left hand almost too much to the point where he doesn't even use his right hand at all. And so that's kind of alarming to me, to where he might come in the league and dominate, or maybe not dominate, but he's going to do pretty well. But once defenses adjust to that, how is he going to develop that? Is he going to develop his right hand? What is he going to do about that?
Now,
I really like.
Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead. Give us your take.
I was going to say I really like Killian Hayes. He's one of my top 5 prospects, but not one of my top 5 picks. Because there's a difference, but
he's got the Harden step back too. That double step.
The one that's going to be
travel.
showing itself in Brooklyn.
Maybe.
I
don't think they should do it.
All right, so I'm going to shift gears for a second. I'm going to look down the board a little bit. So, okay, we've talked about Minnesota. You've talked about their needs. Golden State, obviously, they need the big, right? That's what That's what people have talked about here. They need a big. They need a wing, right? I'm not even going to look at Charlotte, and I'm not even going to look at Chicago. Cleveland has been a hot mess, right? Yeah. So at 5, what are they going to do at 5? Let's start with you, Aaron. What are they going to do at 5?
I think they'll trade Kevin Love eventually, so they'll look to get Obi Toppin this year to replace him.
That's a
'Cause they-
booming take right there, folks. That is an
It-
absolute booming take.
Because they picked point guards the last 2 years, so they don't need a point guard. Andre Drummond accepted his option, so he'll either be there or trade him. So I think Obi makes a lot of sense for them.
Kai?
Yeah, I'm agree with Aaron. I was gonna say Obi, even if they weren't to trade Kevin Love. Obi is 22. He has experience, and he's gonna bring, I think, a different mindset than what these other 19-year-old rookies are gonna bring. So it might help turn around the culture there in Cleveland.
What about you, Chase? What's your take on number 5?
Well, they have 2 guards, one that can score, one that I think had 12 points per game, and Darius Garland. Neither of them could play defense that well. I don't think Kevin Love will get traded. His contract is very big. I know it's north of 30 million, and I think it's 3
who's
years.
going to pick up a $30 million contract, right?
Well, we've kind of been noticing that big contracts get traded no matter what or what the salary is, but they have wings, or they lack wings. So I think they would go wing rather than big with Obi Toppin, who has looked like he can't play defense either. And he's very slow on defense. So I think that they'd be safer going with a wing pick.
Okay, chat. So I got to ask, does anybody agree? And this can come from you guys too here, the 5 with me or the 4 with me. Colton is saying that LaMelo has the potential to be a solid defender.
Yes.
Thoughts?
Yeah, he's 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan. If you give him the right coach and you put him in that defensive mindset, I think so for sure.
Okay. All right.
We haven't seen him play any defense since he was in high school, where he scored 92 points standing at half court and then cherry picking. And
Somebody sounds salty about the 92 points and scoring from half
No,
court.
I definitely couldn't do that. So congrats to him. I mean, he's
Well, at
in the
least you
NBA
admit it.
draft. So I just don't see him panning out on defense. He had like the worst numbers in the NDL, whatever it is over there in New Zealand or Australia.
What is our rate? What is our Aaron? You're our resident expert. What do you? I mean, you said yes.
Well, he's 6'7". I'd hope he could play defense. You just have to get him to do it, because most of defense is a mindset thing.
Isn't that half the problem though?
I think LaMelo's matured a lot more than people realize.
All right, I'll take your word for it. Let's see, what do we got going on here? All right, so as we head toward the 2020-21 season, who are our front runners? Even heading into today, is anybody going to get helped out by tonight to really make them to vault them into a playoff position or a contender position in the conference? Kai, what about you? What do you think?
Well, I was going to say the Warriors before it looked how serious the Klay Thompson injury was, because, I mean, Wiseman's going to be a 15-10 guy right off the bat. So being helped out tonight, I don't see any of the lottery teams really vaulting to playoff position from these picks. So, but I just say maybe a team that isn't a lottery, late lottery, number 13, New Orleans Pelicans, might make the playoffs next year, just because you'll see Zion more. That team will have more chemistry.
Aaron, what do you think?
I agree with the Warriors thing. I was going to say Warriors until Klay, but the Celtics do have the 14th pick, and they're looking to move it. So technically, that could be a big help since they're already such a good team. They package their 3 first-round picks and make a big move.
Expand on that. If they package their 3, what do you think they're going to go after? What are you gunning for if you've packaged 3 picks?
They went for Drew Holiday. That didn't work. There was rumors of James Harden, and then that didn't work. So maybe Miles Turner, but they're not going to give up 3 picks for Miles Turner. So.
Especially to another Eastern Conference team.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. That's a toss-up right there. That's a tough one.
Who has come out saying they won't move up? They're fine with their pick.
What about you, Chase? I mean, do you think Aaron is leaning? Do you think are you leaning toward the packaging of the picks for another, I don't know, for a deal?
I don't think, unless they were trying to add either a big, because they have Marcus Smart, but They don't have like a backup point guard for Kemba, who, if he stays through the season, but they had 2 centers. Neither of them, they got dismantled on defense wise with their bigs. So they could use that to hopefully move up to grab, maybe if they were to give Gordon Hayward to one of these top lottery teams with those 3 picks, maybe they move up and they can take a Wiseman or a Kongwu. Or maybe they sit and wait and there's a tons of guards and wings that they could also take there at 14. So I think they're in a good position with what they have as it is.
Kai, what about you?
I already went
Tell me again.
again.
Yes.
I said Pelicans, but I did want to add on to something as Aaron and Chase were saying when we were talking about the T-Wolves about how they need help on defense. I was looking through a lot of the scouting reports, and this is a very heavy 3-and-D wing draft. Sadiq Bey, Vessel, Williams. I mean, there's a ton of them. So just keep that in mind about where the Celtics sit if they want to take one of those guys, because there's a ton of them.
All right, so I'm going to throw it out there. Any thoughts coming from the chat? Drop them in there. We're always listening to the chat. Kyle, you're moderating that sort of. So, all right. Now, I don't know how much you guys watched the bubble. Obviously, you were talking about the ratings being down. I don't know how much you watched it, but let's talk a little bit about how the 2019-2020 epic season finished. Did it finish the way we expected? Did it finish? What did you think? Let's first, Chase. I'll talk to you first about the bubble. What do you think about the bubble experience? And did we really get to see what we thought we were going to see from the bubble?
I think if the season played out and nothing ever broke out, I still think the Lakers probably come out on top. The Clippers, as they kind of showed, were going to implode due to their chemistry at some point.
Which was really weird. I was shocked at how fast it unraveled for them.
Very quickly. But in the bubble, we got to see people like Gary Trent shoots light out. TJ Warren dropped 53. We had all these players. Tyler Hero showed that he thinks he's about a 10-year vet who can take over games.
And
did very convincingly. Damian Lillard showed the Blazers healthy are still a top, maybe not a top Western team, but they're in that mix. So the bubble, I mean, I enjoyed it. I watched every game that I could. So
What about you, Aaron?
I enjoyed it because we got Bubble Warren, even though the Pacers then got swept. But that led to
He is so Pacers centric. I love it.
Yeah, it led to Nate McMillan being firing, which I really enjoyed.
Oh boy, I knew he was going to bring that in here at some point.
For the rest of the NBA, I thought either the Clippers or Bucks would win, to be honest. I didn't have confidence in the Lakers role players, but LeBron proves me wrong every time, and that's why it's getting harder for me to not put him as the greatest of all time, but that's not for this discussion.
That's a debate for another day.
Yeah, I know.
The entire day. Kai, what about you?
I liked it. I liked what they did. And I think for the people that talk about the ratings and how they were down, don't take into effect about, when you compare playoff ratings to past years, there was literally no other sports going on besides regular season baseball. So I don't think people should have viewed the bubble. I mean, because of those ratings, a lot of people viewed the bubble negatively, saying it wasn't entertaining and it didn't work, but I thought it was great. And I think I had the Bucks winning. But similar to Aaron, I didn't have faith in the Lakers role players, but that was pretty much the only difference that I saw. I thought the season went about how it would have.
Okay. So, sorry, I just turned on Adam Silver as the commissioner of the NBA is standing in front of a podium right now, and I just wanted to hear if he had anything to say, but it doesn't sound like he's saying much other than we're going virtual. All right. So you talked about it going up against regular season baseball normally. There was one point during the bubble that I remember 10 sports being active at the same exact time. How do you think that affected the NBA restart? And that's open to the floor.
I mean, ratings-wise.
Looks like the T-Wolves are on the clock officially.
Ratings-wise, negatively. But I guess if we're talking I don't know, player-wise, operations-wise. I think they're just running business as usual.
What about you, Aaron? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, for me, it didn't really have an impact since I'm an NBA only guy, but I guess for all other sports going on at the same time, some people chose not to watch it, but that's all on them.
Chase?
I like I said, I watched every game that I could and every game that was available.
What about you, Kyle? Being a non-NBA guy.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch it.
What did you
Obviously-
watch instead?
I mean, I was watching baseball.
All right.
Trying to think. I mean, golf. I'm a big golf guy on TV. I know it doesn't really attract to many people, but golf on TV is, a soothing way to spend your Saturday and Sunday, especially if, round 4, leaderboard. But personally, I think with all those sports happening, I even picked the MLS over the NBA, and I don't know. That's just me, but I think it personally probably hurt the NBA with all those sports, especially because I don't know. You didn't have that atmosphere of a game, like an NBA game, especially during the playoffs. So that was kind of bothersome. But you didn't really get that for any other sports. But with 9 other sports going on, it's probably pretty tough to maintain viewers and
I think reasonable basketball minds can get.
I knew we should have gone to Twitch because Cage said if someday you guys do the GOAT debate, I want in on it. He would immediately be timed out for at least 20 seconds on Twitch. I would automatically time him out just for bringing that up. So Minnesota, who we got? All right. You guys have given me kind of your thoughts, but let's get serious now. Who's your guy? And I'm gonna log this so that I can keep track of who's our winner at the end of the night.
I want to see them trade the pick, but I think they go LaMelo here. Maybe Edwards. I want them to go LaMelo, but they might go Edwards.
Okay, Aaron?
Wouldn't be surprised if they trade the pick. Wouldn't be surprised if they draft LaMelo, but I think they should go Edwards.
Chase?
I think they go Edwards.
Kyle?
I'm going to say Edwards as well.
He doesn't know who anybody else is. Just totally kidding. That's
not true. I just don't know the in-depth, scouting reports.
I just had to get a crack in on him at one point or another.
Are we able to flip the question and ask who do you think they take?
Who do I think? I got to go back to my list here because I have it down. I don't have it memorized. I actually think Edwards. And the reason why is because I think that he has that ability as a 6'5" guy, he's got that ability to swing between positions. And I think they need somebody that's useful for multiple spots on the floor. So I have a feeling they'll go Edwards. I would not be surprised if they went Wiseman. I would not be surprised, but that would put them with how many bigs? Would be probably a foolish move on their part. But Ball, I don't see it, but God knows what's going to happen with that family. I have no idea what could come down for LaMelo. He could be the greatest pick of all time, and he could end up being the next GOAT.
We've never seen a prospect with the journey that LaMelo has. And
exactly.
That's
the weird part about that.
I think he has matured a lot. Like he's been grinding when the cameras have been off, he's still grinding. He's grown. I think he'd be a great pick. If they're picking Edwards for him to slot into multiple positions, I would say just trade the pick, and you can get plenty of other guys that can do the same thing, while also bringing in other pieces. That's my
Shams actually. Sorry to interrupt you, but Shams just tweeted Minnesota is selecting Anthony Edwards with the number 1 overall pick. That's from Shams.
There we go. So
pretty,
it's a sham bomb. Boom. Sham bomb dropping on us. All right. So
given there's still a minute and a half left, so.
We going? Nope. I got 20 seconds.
They're going to take it to the wire.
Yep.
Every time. Of course they're going to.
So they couldn't move it, but.
Oh, here we go. We got the 10th of a second anything on the Tissot sponsored clock.
I wonder who the Warriors going to take now. If they go LaMelo, or if they go, I want them to go Wiseman, but.
Do you really think they'd go Melo?
Well, I mean, I think it was Chase. I think it was Chase who was saying that Curry would be a great mentor. I mean, here's the thing with LaMelo is he needs a really good organization. He needs to go into an organization that's going to mentor him and that's going to change his mindset, and he'll be a great player. The Warriors is a perfect opportunity for that. So I definitely could see them taking that. I feel like they need a big more than him, especially a big like Wiseman who's going to come in NBA ready.
I think with all the movement they have, Okongwu's better fit than Wiseman because he can handle it more. That's the only thing that I could see them taking over Wiseman.
So it looks like the pick is in. See, Billis has got Edwards, then Wiseman, Ball, and then Halliburton as his top 4 best available.
I think even if Ball went to an organization like the Hornets, they would just let him do whatever he wants pretty much. And that might be good for his development also. Just
could be bad getting all the shots though.
That's true, but it's basketball without pressure for him. I think he might not be, he'll play freely.
With the first pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards.
Edwards is your top pick. And you know what? I tend to agree with that. I think that's their biggest need. You know, I saw CBS was saying that their second biggest need was Wiseman, believe it or not, which I don't necessarily think that's the case.
If you could figure out how to slot him and Towns together, I think it would have been good. But they're in a win now mode where they don't want to take a chance on that. So,
all right, so let's shift gears. Golden State. Where are we at on Golden State?
I think they go Wiseman.
So Kai has got Wiseman on the block. Aaron, what about you?
LaMelo makes a lot of sense, but they're going to go Wiseman.
Chase?
I think Wiseman. I wish it was Okongwu.
Ooh, all right. What about you, Kyle?
I would go LaMelo.
Oh, he's going to go off the table. I'm also going to go Wiseman because they are severely lacking depth down low.
I like Kevon Looney, but I don't think he can do it for him.
Well, and I mean, I kind of like the idea of having either Wiseman or Okongwu, but I just think that Wiseman's got too big of an upside. You know, I'm sorry, you can't teach 7 foot, right? You can't teach it.
I think Okongwu's good too, but he's just too raw offensively, and I think Wiseman is good enough defensively to where he's already way ahead of Okongwu offensively. That Wiseman's not going to be a defensive liability, so. I really like that pick if they choose him at number 2.
Aaron is sitting here very depressed right now. What are you depressed about?
Well, I was thinking the Warriors have proved that you could win a championship with a center that can run the floor and catch lobs and get rebounds with JaVale and Andrew Bogut. So you could slot in a free agent like that, and then I think LaMelo makes a lot of sense for them.
Oh, there's a hot take. I like that take.
It's a guard league, and LaMelo has the upside, most upside in the draft, I think.
I like that take, though. I like how the creativity of that take, though. That's a good analysis. So Ashton, newbie to IUPUI SMC, he just dropped Toppin as the number 2 pick. He's being a sleeper.
Toppin, he's gonna almost be like a vet coming in. He has a ton of experience, and I think it's just, is he gonna develop defensively fast enough to help out a contender right away? I think that's the big question with him.
Chat, I do have to drop this on you. Cage did bring up the Jay Billis huge upside and incredible length count starts now. You guys have to keep track. So you keep track of the huge upside and incredible length count. And at the end of the night, I will come back to the huge upside and incredible length count. I will make Kyle come back to it as my chat mod. All right, so Aaron, what were we just talking about?
LaMelo to the Warriors.
Yes, you were. Kai,
I gave my hot take.
You did give a great take. That's right. That's why I went to you.
Oh no,
Kai, what do you think of that take?
Again.
Oh no, we have another.
Shams beat him. It's Shams 2, Wiseman, yep. Shams says Wiseman, and then Woj right behind him said Wiseman.
All right.
Yeah.
Shams is up 2-0 though.
Yeah, it's another thing, chat. Keep the Woj bomb versus Shams bomb. Let's keep that score there. Let's keep score on who's getting the upside here. I want to know who drops more bombs, Shams or Woj.
Shams underrated. Shams is very underrated. Drops bombs.
Shams is an underrated.
Everybody goes to Woj, but I mean, Sham is. I don't know.
Victor Oladipo doesn't. Victor Oladipo uses Shams as a puppet to put everything he wants to say out in the public.
Okay, that was a Braxma bomb right there. That was a Brax bomb. Wow. Okay. Well, we know his opinion on a few things. Oh, all right. So we've got Wiseman. We've got Wiseman across the board, except for Kyle dropping his hot take of LaMelo Ball.
Wrong.
I
Kyle?
think Ball goes next. Ball goes 3 to Hornets.
Yeah, I think that's.
You know, I wish Ethan Ketchmark was in here to get his take on, how he feels about LaMelo Ball potentially going to the Hornets.
Where is old Ethan?
Oh, Woj and Shams have already released their third picks.
Chat, your job. Nope. Chat, it's your job to keep up with the Woj bomb versus Shams bomb count. Okay. And the huge upside and incredible length count. Okay. Chat, you keep up with it. Come on now. You got to stay with us. Can't leave us. Got to stay. Their pick, the Warriors pick is in. They were last in the NBA, 15-50. That's not very good. But they're still a pretty good franchise, I like to think. All right, so as we're waiting, for some reason, the pick has been in for close to a minute and a half now. So why can't we just announce it?
We already know the third pick at this point, too.
Yeah, yep. I mean, the Twitter bombs are just left and right here. Now I need a fourth monitor. Good Lord. I can't even refresh Shams stuff fast enough.
Currently 3 for 3, though, with my mock. So feeling good about that.
Wow, bam. Already dropped. I hate that. I like it, but I hate it. We didn't go through this during the NBA or the NFL one, did we? There weren't anybody dropping anything, were they?
Yeah, but we said we weren't going to look at Twitter.
Oh, well, this one I don't think we have a choice. So maybe we don't announce it. Maybe we don't announce the tweet.
Okay.
Maybe we make.
Because me and Kyle, we knew that they were going to announce the picks before they were actually announced. So I think we told everybody to keep Twitter quiet.
I'm just waiting for the actual pick to come in.
But you wonder how they find out beforehand.
They've got contacts, man.
Yeah, they got people.
They got peeps. They got peeps spread all over the place. Oh, for crying out loud. Let's go. I get frustrated with this because there's so much punditry.
I do like how in the first round they only got 5 minutes instead of 12 10. For the NFL.
Nolan, it's your job. You keep up with Shams versus Woj. That's your job for tonight. You ready to take on that responsibility? As I'm looking at the chat right now, I get a follow drop by our president here.
I didn't put that in there.
No, not at all. Good Lord, it's been 5 minutes now. It's been in for 5 minutes. We could have been 5 picks deep now. I'm not going to sit here and ask you guys to keep giving me takes on things. Chat, you got to participate more. It's got to be better. Come on now. Who's going 3, chat? Don't you follow Woj bombs. Don't you follow Sham bombs. Give us your opinion. Is Silver having trouble getting to the podium or what? I mean, what's going on here? And why is it that LaMelo Ball is from the United States?
He technically is, isn't he? I mean, he was born.
It's
Well,
from
it's not
Cali.
a college, but shouldn't you say a team?
Here it is.
NBA Draft. The Golden State Warriors select James Weissman.
Well, that one was an obvious one. Well, he's relieved. The fam is happy. He's relieved. They had 3 hats there. Not sure which one it was going to be. He's thrilled to be going. He's all right. So, fit, Aaron, perfect fit.
Well, yeah, since I don't have center, but it sucks with Clay going down. But the center makes sense, even though I said LaMelo makes sense.
But couldn't they pick up a replacement for Clay in free agency or in trade deadline?
Not sure with
it's
what money.
kind of hard to replace Klay Thompson, but they could try.
I think you don't draft for an injury for 1 year. They've needed a center for a while. They haven't had like a top level center that Wiseman's potential could be. So I don't think you pass on him.
I'll agree with that. I will agree with Kai on that one. All right, who's going to Charlotte? I got CBS saying Obi, Denny, and Okongwu. No mention of Ball.
I said Ball earlier. Just let him play low pressure basketball. Let him run out there, do his thing, and develop. And maybe MJ will mentor him. We don't know if MJ will, but maybe MJ might lend some skills to him. We'll see.
You've seen that go GOAT? Poorly too.
Yeah.
Do you mean the GOAT?
I mean MJ.
The GOAT.
The guy.
The discussion for days, right? All right, Aaron, what you got?
Well, I was going to say something about MJ. He hasn't been a good owner, but he could attempt to mentor LaMelo. So he's at least doing something in that front office instead of making one of the worst teams in the NBA.
So who are they taking?
LaMelo.
Chase?
I think they take LaMelo. I don't see MJ mentoring him. We've also seen that go horribly when he was on the Wizards. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but
was that in the Arenas days?
It was just before him, I believe. It was
the center. Kwame Brown, the one that
he put like his.
Was it Beasley or was it Brown or
Kwame Brown? Yep, Aaron said it. Where
was it Kwame? Wasn't Kwame not even close to his position though?
Yeah, but he kind of took him under his wing and used his tough mentality, and it did not work.
Okay.
So with LaMelo, he's had everything not handed to him, but kind of worked through him. It might be difficult, especially with Scary Terry wanting 20 shots a game in that guard.
Okay, so our resident NBA novice, who you gonna throw in the 3 spot since you were 1 for 2 right now?
Me?
No, Kyle. He's the NBA novice.
Oh, LaMelo.
You just said him for 2.
Well, he's still there. He's still there.
My God.
I can't. I mean, Wiseman would have been 3. I can't say Wiseman because he's already gone.
What if Ball goes like 5? Are you going to go ball until they get until somebody picks him?
No,
because he's 1 for 14.
Somewhere around 4 or 5. I think Obi Toppin's going to go, so his name will eventually be thrown in there, and then But till then, I think I might just stick with Ball if he doesn't get picked here.
Boy, they're saying CBS is saying center, power, and small for the Hornets.
Well, if Kyle's going to keep saying Obi Toppin, could he say it right at least?
Yeah, I was going to say it's Toppin, not Topin.
Wow, that was. I just felt the bus drive over him on that one.
Sorry. Like I said, I do
mental
not
Rolodex of insults. What were you saying, Kyle?
I was just like, I don't pay much attention.
Well, you're here. Let's pay attention.
I can't get all this knowledge coming in.
I don't. I'm trying to think of the guards in the Hornets.
Terry.
You got Terry Rozier, Devontae Graham.
I'm gonna go Toppin because he'd be along Zeller, wouldn't he?
Toppin's probably going to play 4, maybe 3.
He'd be alongside Zeller, wouldn't he?
They have PJ Washington though.
Down.
Mellow Ball, you guys were right. Wow.
They had Bridges at the 3, PJ Washington at the 4.
I forgot about PJ.
Yeah.
He played well, so.
I was trying to think of who was in their 4 spot. All right, so Ball, LaMelo Ball. I never thought I'd see the day.
I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
It wouldn't surprise me if he was good. It really would not surprise me if he was bad. So
Illawarra.
I think he'll struggle at first, but I mean, what rookie isn't going to struggle pretty much? But
especially with a month turnaround.
Yeah, and one of his weaknesses is his decision making, and he doesn't play great defense. So we'll see what he does, but I think he'll surprise a lot of people once he gets the hang of the NBA.
Well, I tell you what, he does look like he has matured a little bit.
He's huge. He's huge.
He's a wizard passing the ball too. Those highlights are just ridiculous with what he can do. The ball's on a string the whole time.
He has the talent. It's the decision making, and I think the
Lack
older
of
he gets, the
defense.
better that's going to be.
Just no want to play defense he's shown so far.
But see that, and that's going to have to be on the Hornets to change that mindset. So
Have faith in James Borrego, but I don't know about LaMelo.
All right, let's shift gears. Chicago Bulls. What do they need? Aaron, what do they need?
You want me to say the pick or what they need? Because they need a small forward, so that Denny.
Okay, so Denny is going to be your pick. Let me put Denny in here.
I've been a big Denny fan, but the past few
yes,
days.
Somebody earlier in the chat said, hold on, I'm going to go back
AJ.
into the chat. AJ said, Aaron loves Denny. Explain to me why you love Denny.
I was trying to get on someone in the draft and give myself a self-proclaimed biggest fan of someone in the draft, and I really like Denny's game. But recently, I've been shifting towards LaMelo being my favorite, so we'll see.
Whoa. I never thought I'd ever hear anyone say LaMelo is his favorite at anything.
I don't like the LaMelo hatred in this room right now.
I don't have hate. I just look back at I think it's dad.
yeah, you can't put don't
Bugs me.
associate LeVar.
And Lamar's gotten better. He stopped talking as much.
I'm still believing in Lonzo, so it's definitely not the whole ball name. I think it's more LaMelo in general for me.
Nolan says it's 3-1 Shams. So
Yeah.
Kai, who you got going to the Bulls?
I think they picked Denny, but I think Denny's he's actually one of my guys I think might be bust. I would like them to take Toppin because I feel like Chicago has a ton of young talent on there. And you can have another older guy like Toppin that doesn't really need that transition year. And I think he'll help that young squad possibly fight for a playoff spot in the East.
What about you, Chase?
Well, we know they've been rumored to be shopping Levine. Kobe White doesn't pass the ball, so they need someone who can at least pass. But they also need wings. So I would say they probably – I'm going to say they take Isaac Okoro out of Auburn.
Whoa, we got a chase bomb.
I really like Okoro.
We got a chase bomb going here. Gotta go find that now.
I have flipped my phone, so I don't know what Twitter's doing anymore.
I
like to hear that.
I already looked.
Okoro out of Auburn. 6'6"
Really
guy.
like Okoro.
Defense
6'6" guy.
His offense just needs to come along, which I think will definitely happen. But he's probably the best perimeter defender in the draft.
Kyle?
I said Patrick Williams in the beginning.
Williams?
You looked at Twitter. Don't even try.
I'm gonna
did.
go with Toppin.
I literally picked that from the beginning.
I think you did, actually.
I think he's going off CBS.
Patrick Williams.
Yeah.
Patrick Williams. So Kyle got one right. Got two right now. He's 3 for 4 now.
Yeah, watch out. Watch out.
It's impossible for me. I'll flip my phone around. I'm
I
taking a
flipped
big
it. I moved it
risk.
away.
See? Yeah. See, it makes it much more fun and worthwhile when you don't have the answers in front of you, Kyle. Flip it over, buddy.
I'm not even on it. My girlfriend
I think
texted me.
his TV is ahead of us. I think that's what it is.
Am I looking at my TV?
All right, so now I'm gonna run Jake over again with the bus. So the disaster that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. CBS has got Killian Hayes, Obi Toppin, and Tyrese Halliburton. Chase, what do you think?
They're dumpster fire. So I don't. They could take a third guard in 3 years. That wouldn't surprise me. But I have them taking Obi Toppin.
Okay. Kai?
Obi-Wan, please.
Aaron?
I hope they skip over Denny so his career doesn't go down in the dumpster fire. So give him Toppin.
All right. So you want Toppin's career to go down in a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Kyle?
Hometown hero. Went to Dayton.
I got to go Obi, but I'm also looking at the chat here, and Nolan says, I'll say this, Bulls sold super bad, not a good pick.
They did.
Is there like a call-in feature to get these people in here to get their input?
I mean, you could share the link if you wanted to. I mean, that'd be up to you.
Yeah,
Somebody
I
asked.
think they took Patrick Williams way too high. I think Obi's a better pick there, or maybe even a Coro, honestly. But we'll see. Some guys are really high on Patrick Williams, so I didn't really watch him much in college.
My God, the best needs that Cleveland needs everything. Boy.
Sexton's the 20-point per game scorer, so they have that going forward.
And where's he? 2?
Yeah, he plays the 2.
I'm gonna go Hayes. I'm gonna go Hayes because the best fit they say is Hayes. CBS says Hayes, Toppin, Halliburton.
To Cleveland? Hayes to Cleveland?
Yeah.
A third guard?
Third point guard.
Do they have 2 already? That's what I was
Darius
asking.
Garland.
Then no, I don't want him. I'm
Well,
taking
Sexton's
Hayes
like
off the board.
6'1".
I'm gonna go with Toppin. Again, that's 3 straight for me. So I'm like Kyle now. Obviously, I got to do more research. Hold on.
I think Toppin's age is like scaring people away. He is an older prospect, but
It's 22, right?
yeah, and I think he'll transition just fine. And I think he could be a contributor right off the bat. I don't know why. I think the Bulls definitely should have taken him. Even though places have him listed as a power forward, I think he could play the 3 if need.
I think he's too slow. He's too heavy-footed on defense.
I've officially
gets
changed my
beat
pick.
quick.
I've officially changed my pick. Denny.
Denny. See, I don't like Denny.
I love Denny.
He has.
That's kind of
His
rude.
weakness is his shooting. He's 6'9", 215, but he's not good at shooting, and especially from the free throws, which is alarming.
Concerning.
Yeah, because he's
Jake,
not going to be
I
banging.
changed my pick. Jake, we're not taking a third guard in the lottery in 3 years, you silly Susan. I am not a silly Susan.
Oh, they
Well,
could.
I'm
They
about to
could.
ban you from the chat, Jake.
He's a Cavs fan. I don't think you should get much of an opinion anyway.
I can put him in timeout. I didn't know you could time out somebody in YouTube. Oh. All right, what do we got? We're still not there
timeout.
yet. We can put him in the timeout. Yes, Justin, I agree. I went with Denny. It took me a minute. Nolan, just don't tell us who it is, okay? Just keep the score. Shams is up 4-1 right now. He is throttling Woj.
Also, the pick is in.
I want to look at my phone so bad, but I won't.
I
Don't
threw
do
it.
it.
That's what I just did. I just threw it because I've been
I'm not on
tempted.
Twitter. I'm just looking. I'm just texting people, but I'm not going to go on Twitter.
I got notifications on, so I can't even look at my phone or I'll see it.
I love it. I love the fact that we're putting our phones down.
Denny just reminds me of Dragon Bender, and that's why I don't like him. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's
Dragon
not
Bender?
Fourth pick to the Suns.
I call him Dragon. I think his name was Dragon Bender, but I say Dragon Bender. He was like the 4th overall pick a couple of years ago.
To the Suns.
Yeah, he was 7'1". Everybody's like, this guy's like a bigger Porzingis. He's going to be a sharpshooter. He could do everything, and he did nothing.
Well, I tell you what, I was disappointed in Kristaps in the bubble there late, and then he got hurt. But then he got hurt. He was somewhat ineffective before he got hurt.
Yeah,
like his effectiveness kind of went like this, and then when he got hurt, right? So I mean, it just kind of started to dip, and they had to rely so much more on, what's his name? Huh? Luka, yeah, Doncic, right? They had to rely on him a whole lot more because Kristaps wasn't really doing much.
Something about Luka, real quick. I think a lot of teams are going to be taking these European guys really high because of Luka, because they don't want to miss out on the next European sensation. So that's why we might see guys like Denny, Hayes. Yeah, probably just Denny and Hayes. Maybe there's a guy named Theo Maledon out of France, I believe. We might see them in the next like top 15 picks. So
do you know how
There's
upset I'm
also
going to
that-
be if they take Hayes and I said it and I was right?
well,
You know how mad I'm going to be?
they shouldn't.
They
Who's
shouldn't.
the-
But they are a bad organization, so you don't know.
Who's the 7'1"? Who's the 7'1" guy? Pokazevsky.
Okashevsky? Yeah.
He's 7'1", 205 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
he is.
He's like Sean Bradley size.
He's a stick. Like
He's a 7-foot
yes,
guard
and he can pass like a guard and handle like a guard, but
and
he's
shoot.
7'1".
I actually have him as a guy that might bust too, just because I feel like it's dangerous just to play that guy until he gets some more weight on him. 7'1", 205 is insane.
Yes.
So you were talking about Theo Maledon? Is that what you're talking about?
That's the guard. We're talking about
No, I knew what you were talking about there,
Pokashevsky.
but I wanted to look up.
yeah, Theo Maledon. I think he's out of France.
Yep, he's out of France.
I think he'll be pretty good too. He's not projected to go until like the 20s-ish, but he's he is 6'4", 174, so he needs to get some weight on him, but
The 2020
Oh.
NBA Draft.
kicks in.
The Cleveland Cavaliers select Isaac Okoro.
Oh,
Wow.
nobody
Good
had a
pick from them.
Kuro on the table.
I didn't think they'd take him.
I wanted
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
go down really high on Okoro. I think he is really the best defender in the draft. He just needs to get his offense up, but like we said with Cleveland, they have two offensive-minded guards. Even though Garland only scored 12 points per game, he was known coming into the draft as a guy that can play off the screen and roll.
Well, I tell you what. What I mean, CBS has got Detroit taking him at 7. So what
This
does that do
draft
with
is confusing.
what does that do with Denny and Halliburton, who they had at 5 and 6?
I mean, every prospect's pretty much like, I know Patrick Williams is getting looked at 4, but he's also getting looked at like 12.
So I have to
So-
say, I'm just gonna say that is a great pick for Cleveland.
Yeah,
I think so.
Really good.
I mean, that's
Jake,
kind of a
shout out to
shocker,
your
but
Cavaliers, bro. Like Okoro is really good.
Got him, got Kevin Porter, who can
Got
score.
Porter.
Well,
Garland's gonna
Kevin
come
Porter got
around.
arrested, so we don't know what's going to happen with him.
That's true.
Porter
I forgot
did?
about that.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Aaron, well, we don't know. He got arrested, so we're not 100% sure what's going to happen to him.
So they have a backup plan now.
Oh, we have hey, where's my guy here? Where's my mod here? We got a great drop in the chat. I love it.
He's eating cereal. So
Are you eating Reese's Puffs again?
Maybe.
Yep, that's exactly what he's eating. There's a
I
nice
haven't seen
drop
a
in the
trade
chat
yet.
here. Where's my mod?
I'm right here. We got a lot in the chat.
Let me have it.
Well, so what's somebody said Aaron's sobbing right now when Denny going. Aaron, you got a lot of fans in this chat. You need to.
Yeah, I recruited a lot of people, including Nolan.
Aaron is sobbing right now. Whoa. Okay. Preston with a nice drop. My favorite was Connor saying Aaron is going to rage quit if Denny goes to the Knicks.
ooh,
I don't like the Knicks.
I think
Uh-oh.
they'll take a guard.
Nolan's
Knicks
dropping
take-
Shams 5-2 now.
Scary.
But we have a third party being dropped in. Nolan brought in Shams 4, Woj 1, Chris Haynes 1.
That's
So a
surprising.
Haney bomb, huh?
So
Uh-oh.
does that mean the
Ethan-
Hawks?
Oh,
in the
Ethan
chat.
is in the chat. LaMelo Ball is home, baby. Best guard in the draft coming to Charlotte. Playoffs, here we come. And you get timed out. I'm totally kidding. I wouldn't do that to him. That's great. Great take. If my mod would respond to him, it'd be phenomenal, but I don't think he can right now.
Who's the Iowa State player? We need to get
Halliburton.
Erickson's opinion
It's
on that.
Halliburton.
I think
Hey, so who goes next, boys? Who goes next?
I was gonna say Halliburton to the Hawks, honestly.
You know what they're saying? The CBS is saying Halliburton to the Hawks with the 6th pick. 6'5" sophomore out of Iowa State. But they're saying that best fits are Obi Toppin, Denny, and Sadiq Bey.
Nova.
Oh,
I would take Vassell over Sadiq Bey. But
So, Connor is still riding this Denny to New York thing, Aaron. You may want to bust on this guy. Tyrese is going to New York, is what Ethan says. Tyrese is going to New York.
the Knicks are going to take Tyrell Harry, who's like, what is he?
the 6'2" guy out of Stanford,
Yeah, but he's like, what, like 100
75.
He's a
Now-
shooter. I like him.
Now CBS has got Killian Hayes going to the Knicks.
That's where I think they take another French guard. This one, I think.
Oh, I
will
was about to
work out.
say, yeah, because that worked out for Ntilikina, but
He's still got hope. He's still got hope. I'm not giving up on him.
I don't.
They should
I
just
don't think
not let the Knicks pick.
I don't think it's him. I think it's the Knicks. They just refuse to like
Dolan needs to sell the team.
their players.
And the hot take of the night, Chase Oden. Dolan needs to sell the team.
I don't think it's a hot take.
I don't think
I'm
that's
pretty
a hot
sure
take at all.
I think everyone's in agreement with that one.
Kyle, would you agree with that?
Kyle doesn't even know who that is.
Dolan?
Exactly. So not everybody here would agree.
You didn't give me time to swallow my Reese's Puffs.
I didn't know this was dinner time.
It's not dinner, it's snack.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. But Dolan, he's a dumpster fire and a half.
Denny
Yeah.
has to go to the Knicks, right? AJ says. Connor, yes, AJ.
I think the Hawks will
Aaron,
take
are these
Denny.
friends of yours?
I
Because
recruited people.
they do not seem very friendly. They wanted to see you suffer, it sounds like.
Well, AJ's a big Obi Toppin fan, so I hope he goes to the Knicks.
Oh,
Aaron
there
Braxton
it
to the
is.
Knicks.
Comes out firing. I like it. I like it. Dolan is a worse owner than Dan Gilbert. Oh, Nolan says Aaron to the Knicks.
I recorded our pitch for your sports management class, and I hit a jump shot. So I think I could be better than half the
wow.
players on the Knicks.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait to watch that video.
I hit a
rather
jump shot, so
have
that's
that
better
all
than
over
half the Knicks
social media.
roster.
I'd rather have Aaron than play for the Knicks. I don't know what that
Is your
means,
name at
AJ.
Pacers fan on Twitter?
No, that's him.
Oh, here we go. Shameless plug in the chat. The
Timed out.
HMU, he says, hit me up. Really? Really? I'll give you that one because you came.
I think the Hawks going to take Avdia here.
It's going to be Hayes with a side bowl of Reese's Puffs.
NBA Draft. The Atlanta Hawks select Onyeka Okongwu.
Oh.
Okongwu goes to
Oh.
the Hawks.
They have Clint Capella and John
Yeah.
Collins, though.
I was
that doesn't
literally
make
about
any
to say
sense.
that.
Why does that not make sense, Aaron?
Because they already have two big men.
Who fill the same role.
Yeah.
Unless they get rid of Capella, because they're not going to get rid of Collins.
Capella hasn't even played a game for them yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he's on the block?
I mean, he has a huge contract still. Like they're going to give up more, like giving him away than.
Feel bad for him. I wanted to go somewhere where he was going to get to touch the ball instead of watching Trae Young
AJ,
pull
love
it from
this.
40.
AJ, you have made up for Connor's mistakes in busting on Aaron so much. Why is someone eating right now? Question mark. Yes, that is Kyle. That is our president. He is eating his snack. He was hungry. Pella's going to
somebody
Boston
wants-
for Hayward.
Somebody wants
Oh.
an
What?
opinion on a player.
Connor Granlund
Whoa.
with this one of your boys, I think, Aaron. One of your boys dropping a hot take.
Well, I want to know
Pella?
if that's true, but I can't look at my phone.
No, you don't need to know if it's true. It's speculation, so you have to speculate. That's what you do as a writer.
I'm just trying to see who Detroit takes.
He is so struggling. He wants to open his phone right now so badly.
Yeah, I do.
Well, I don't think the
Somebody wants
Pistons are
an
going to try
opinion
to.
on
Come here and tell me
Tyrell
night-night.
Terry.
Come here, baby.
This draft's so out of whack, I don't even know
Love
what's
you, baby.
happening anymore.
Come here, buddy.
Oh, it's
Good night.
Come here.
crazy.
Boo.
Mm. Love you, bud. You were getting the call out. You got the call out. Good night, babies.
Could the Pistons try to build around 31-year-old Derrick Rose instead of?
Blake
He's
Griffin.
probably out.
Well, Connor, which
President.
which one is Aaron for president? Uh-oh. Are you talking SMC president or president of the United States?
He's probably
He's
saying
lit.
Pacers president.
Are we gonna get a coup d'etat here? Aaron's going to write 5,000 articles about why the Pacers should trade up for Denny in less than 10 minutes. Love that. Can I like that in the chat? Oh, I can't like that. Dang it.
What?
Oh,
At this
Detroit
rate, Denny
pick
might
is
follow
in.
the Pacers at 54.
Who do we got? Who do we got for the Pistons? Real quick.
I
I
got
have
Hayes.
them. I have Killian Hayes.
Okay. Killian Hayes, Kai?
Yeah, I don't even know anymore. I'm gonna go with Hayes, I guess. I feel this
Chase
draft
flipped his
all
phone.
over the place.
Chase went and grabbed his phone real quick. He went off camera. And
No,
grabbed
it's
his- I'm
it's
just
back
kidding.
there. You
I'm
can
just,
see it.
I'm just kidding.
The blue speck.
Aaron,
We can go with Danny.
I don't even know who's on the board anymore. I need to start writing stuff down.
I
But I'll
just
go
told you
Killian.
Detroit.
I'll go-
Detroit's on the board. That's
No, I
7.
don't know what players are on the board at this point.
Obi, Denny.
I'll go Killian. I really like Killian. He's in my
Obi,
top
Danny,
5.
Killian.
Well,
still there.
Well, according to CBS, so Atlanta didn't take Halliburton. Denny's is still on the table. Toppin is still on the table.
yeah.
Doesn't surprise me to see
So
Obi fall.
3 of the top picks in CBS's mock draft are still on the table. Okoro is off. They had him at 7. Hayes they have at 8. Okongwu they have at 9. He's off the table. Bay they have at 10 to the Suns. I'm not going to pay ESPN, so I went with CBS instead.
I don't even know.
I could see the Suns taking Sadiq Bey or Devin Vassell.
Maybe the Suns take Dragon Bender 2.0 and get Denny if he's still available.
Oh, and Connor dropped Denny to the Wizards is confirmed.
He said
How do you-
he should.
He just said Denny to the Wizards confirmed. And then Blake says, just wait for the Knicks pick. You won't believe it.
They need to
That's
stop.
that's
this.
another guy I recruited. I got all the people.
Well, I'm glad they're here.
With the 7th pick in the 2020 NBA
Hey?
Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
Killian Hayes, y'all nailed it. Y'all nailed it.
If
Your
he
TV's
uses his
behind
right
mine.
hand more, he'll be a stud.
They have a scorer, that's for sure. At least a building block. Him and
Yeah.
Kevin Herter. Or that's
Luke
the
Kennard.
Hawks.
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah,
Herter.
Luke Kennard. They're the same player. It's fine.
Yeah,
And
same.
Sekou Demboya.
So right now, and I have not counted the last couple picks on our list, but the top 5 is where I stopped. Right now, our winner. I'm going to have to remove one of Kyle's picks because he cheated, we think.
On what?
I have 4.
Williams.
I've missed 3.
I picked him at the beginning.
I wish we had a mod. We should have selected somebody as a mod to go back and pull the tape.
He did. I do remember him saying
Okay,
it's top
I'll
5.
take your word for it.
so-
I'll take your word for it. All right, I will not cancel that pick.
Just because I don't know anything doesn't mean I can't be right once.
It is a 4-way tie.
I have no clue what the Wizards are going to do.
No. Yes, it's a 4-way tie. So 4 out of 5 of you, guess who the loser is?
Oh,
This guy. I only had 2.
Oh, we had a 4-way tie.
Can we get
I
F
should have just
in
said
the
they were
chat?
taking forward.
Yeah, drop me an F in the chat, an L. I will take the L on that one. Big L. Make sure it's capital. I will
Jake
take the big
said
L
I'm-
on that one.
Jake
Jake
said I
says you cheated. I don't know if I'll disagree with that, but I'm just going to go with it. I thought I heard you say Williams earlier, so I will take your word for
I
it. I
did.
thought I heard you. So
I did.
you're very
And you were
defensive,
supposed-
and when you get very defensive, that answers my question a lot of times.
You were supposed to write it down too, sir. Are you not doing your job either?
Now wait a minute. I've got 4 other jobs to deal with here. Thank you.
But you wrote theirs down, but not
Yeah,
mine.
thanks, Jake, for dropping the L. Blazing Mons, it's not an F, it's an L. I got to take the L. The
Is
F,
that,
I'm not failure. I just lost badly. So a big L in the chat. Why is Connor not dropping the L? I want L's. Give me the L's, all the L's. It's fine. I deserve them. All the L's. According to this, Nolan says Woj is catching up. 5-4 Shams right now. So he's that's like us in Rocket League. He's blown a big lead.
Did the Knicks take Denny here?
Thanks,
I
Mons,
think
for
the Knicks
dropping that L.
I have the Knicks taking Halliburton.
Halliburton?
They need to figure out that guard situation. They have Dennis Smith.
Don't they have
Frank
a
Ntilikina.
bit of a disaster either way there?
They have their whole roster.
Their franchise is a disaster.
Yeah.
If somebody said in the chat, we won't believe it. So maybe
Yeah, that's why I want to go with something weird.
maybe it'll be like
Kira Lewis out of Alabama.
Kira. A lot of places are saying
I
Kira
like
Lewis
him.
is really good. Yeah.
He reminds me of De'Aaron Fox.
Connor, don't get all defensive. We didn't say you were spoiling anything.
Maybe a Cole Anthony, a little hometown kid.
RJ
I'm gonna go with
Hampton.
Pukashevsky to try to get Porzingis back.
True. Oh, we'll see. It's the Knicks. It could literally be anything.
I'm going to go R.J. Hampton.
I'm gonna go.
You know
with
what?
Dan.
I think they try to get Steph Curry 2.0 and take Tyrell Terry out of Stanford.
Yeah,
Oh,
he is. He's literally exactly like Trae Young or Steph Curry. It's just shoot.
R.J. Hampton.
Well, if Blake said we
I
didn't believe
didn't
it.
cheat. I was just looking at the best available, and I picked his name.
Jake says they have Taj Gibson. They don't need anyone.
It's fair.
Let's get a W in the chat for Jake. That was probably the best comment so far today.
It's not that weird. Don't overthink it. Just can't believe how some people falling.
Oh, then it's probably Denny.
I want some hot takes, please.
Oh, I could keep talking all night if we want hot takes.
Then why
Yours
aren't
would
you?
Be all His would be all Pacers.
No, we don't want Pacers. Pacers aren't
Oh,
even
I
going to
can
be
get
here.
Pacers hot takes all night.
I want hot takes in the draft, not the Pacers. The Pacers are irrelevant in this first round.
They have the 54th pick. That's very relevant.
So again, I echo the same statement I just made. They are irrelevant in this first round unless they trade.
Oh, they
Miles
will.
Which,
Turner.
by the way, is there a take there?
Oh wait,
No, they're not going to do anything.
Then tell me about it. Mr. I'm in the know. 8 seconds, 9 points, 8 points, 9 seconds guy.
You want me to
Oh.
talk about the Pacers?
Yeah.
They won't
wait,
do anything.
Whoa.
Okay. Well,
pick is in.
Top into the Knicks, boys. Top it.
Oh, that's not. I don't think that's a bad pick.
That's a good pick, actually. I kind of
I-
like that one.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad pick at all.
Oh, I didn't know. You should have let it. I should have let him in, Kyle.
They
I
have
sent you a
Julius
message.
Randle, though.
He left.
Yeah, I sent you a message.
Why didn't you just let him in?
I didn't know if you had like a special opening.
No, hot damn. Now I lost Agnes.
Well, you got to say, hey, we didn't see you in the waiting room.
Oh, my phone.
I sent you a message. I just figured you were doing some intros with us before you put him in, and then he left.
No, damn it. Dang it. We had
bad.
Agnes in the room. That's why you're a co-host. Listen to
Well-
L in the chat. All of them. All
That-
L's. All
that's an
L's
L.
for Kyle on that one.
That's-
That's a
that's-
massive
yeah.
L.
Hey, timeout.
No
Last
timeouts.
time-
Does
No,
that
no, no.
deduct? Does that eliminate him from who gets the most picks, right?
No,
No.
he still gets that one. He earned
Last,
that one.
last time I prematurely let somebody in to the Zoom room I was not supposed to.
Did I make that
There-
rule today?
No. Well, you didn't make it last time either, and I let him in
Man.
too early.
I had Agnes an hour ago. It was an hour ago.
How'd you not see him pop up
I-
on the screen that said,
I don't have the
Waiting room.
participants open. Oh,
wait, it
"It's
was
still
an
pop on your
hour?
room"?
yes, it was an hour ago.
Oh, that's like multiple L's, not just one.
Yeah, they all go to one guy too. Actually, I get L's in that one too, but good Lord.
Hope he can come in. Still.
He's gone. He's
Maybe.
gone. He gone. He's like, I'm too important for this stuff. Sent me a text, threw me a couple of question marks, and I know he's throwing me the middle finger right now. Man, Agnes could have given us some good hot takes. Now wow. Big L. Jake, I know. Big L.
Big L for Sherm in the chat.
Whoa. Would my other 3 cohorts here please help defend me? Was I
That's
not
an L,
hosting?
Kyle.
Was I not doing a great hosting job?
Yeah, so why would I just want to throw somebody in while you're talking to us?
You could have
it's
said,
Scott
hey,
Agnes.
Scott Agnes is in the waiting room.
Okay. Looking back to the chat, from me to Jeffrey Sherman privately at 7:51.
I'm not going to look in the chat when I'm hosting.
Don't forget Agnes is in the waiting room.
I didn't know he was in the waiting room because I didn't look at the chat. This is our lives, folks. This is awful. I had Agnes in the room, and Kyle, my co-host, did not let him in. Oh, now he's going to be mad at me. And my contact, oh, man, he's going to be so upset with me. See, he's not even texting me back. Thanks. He's not even texting me back.
Aaron, you have a question in the chat.
2 fridges
Why
because
do you
2
have-
people. It's a pretty simple answer.
Pretty simply quick.
Well, you
I
should
had
probably
one.
tell Connor
Jake,
that.
shut
He's
up.
concerned.
You're getting the timeout. I'm going to mod my own chat here. No, I didn't want it to be for 5 minutes. Oh,
Trey Brown
Jake,
wa-
I'm sorry. I did not mean to put you in timeout for 5 minutes. It automatically put you there.
Trey
I was
Brown
trying
wants
for
to know why
10
you're going off.
seconds. What'd you say?
Trey Brown wants to know why you're going
Because
off.
I had Scott Agnes on. I had a celebrity in the chat, and he bolted an hour ago because my guy Kyle did not tell me. He chatted to me in a window that was closed and said, hey, Agnes is in the waiting room. He could have, when he is co-host, and could have just said, hey, Scott Agnes is in the room. Let's let him in. And instead, he threw it on me so that he could drive over me with the bus. Like, drive over me and then back over me with all 8 wheels or however many are on a bus, and then drive over me a second time. So everybody throws the L's at me in the chat, but not at him. Man. Now he's not texting me back. Now Agnes is gonna go off and tell me how bad of a person I am.
Hey, we all make mistakes.
I was supposed to have some help there, and it just didn't pan out. I'm sad. Trey, I'm sad. That's why.
So who do the Wizards take?
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
I think they're going to take Mr. Tyrese.
I don't know
Tyrese
how- I don't know how
Maxey.
far you can let Denny fall.
They just took Roy Hachimura last draft.
Man. I don't even know what to say now. I'm depressed. I had a guy lined up, and
I'll get off.
had a guest lined up, and it just all blew up in my face. He was super important, would have given us a great take, and
I'll leave.
Wait.
With the 9th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Denny Avdia from Herzliya, Israel.
All right, Aaron. You're high on him. How's he fit in Washington's system?
Well, John Wall, if John Wall ever comes back, he'll fit good, but we'll have to see if Denny can shoot off the ball because Bradley Beal's going to have the ball in his hand. John Wall's going to have the ball in his hand. So if Denny can't shoot, then it doesn't make much sense at all, actually.
Denny's going to have to develop his jump shot. He's not going to be banging down low. So, and the fact that he's struggling from the line too is just really concerning. So we'll see how he fits in.
They keep dropping the 2 fridge thing.
I already answered the question.
I know. Did they answer it again? Because they obviously weren't paying attention.
Oh, Nolan's even in it too.
Well, if there's 2 fridges for 2 people, it makes sense. What a concept.
Hey,
They don't go to
Aaron,
IPY.
actually,
Well, AJ goes to IPY. That's surprising. He should be smarter than that.
hey, Aaron, can you pull that ice cream out of your freezer and let's take a couple
No.
look at that?
AJ says I have a 3rd fridge if you need it.
I want to really see that ice
And
cream.
Connor
Aaron.
said he can give you one too. Oh man, I feel like getting off here, muting myself, and letting you guys take the reins and calling Agnes and saying, "Man, I am so sorry. I did not know you were there."
It's looking forward to that too.
Me too.
It's really
Me
looking
too.
forward
Let's
to
just
it.
all make Kyle
God.
feel bad.
7:51. I sent you a message.
In the chat, and I'm sitting here
But-
as a host. You're supposed to be
Hey.
monitoring the chat, and you're supposed to be dropping
All right.
people. You're supposed to say to me, "Hey, we've got Scott Agnes on the line," and you're like a producer. A producer says, "Hey, we've got Scott Agnes in the room," and I'm like, "Hey, let's let him in," and boom, that's when I go.
Hey, I'm going to send a test message to everybody, and I want to see if your chat pops up in front of you.
Mine did not pop up in front of me. It did just now, but it didn't earlier.
Well, you need to pay attention. Attention to detail.
This guy. Take over hosting duties. Hold on. Maybe he texted me back. Maybe he'll come back.
I'm hoping. Has
I
some
think
insider
earlier when they
news on
said-
that 54th pick.
Earlier when they said Aaron for president, I think they meant they want me to take over for Kyle at this point after he did that.
It's all right, Aaron.
I got
I'm
2 fridges.
still-
What do you have, Kyle?
Now pray to God. Everyone in the chat, pray that we actually have a celebrity coming on. I think he's a celebrity. He's a good guy. He does IUPUI women's basketball. He does the Fieldhouse Files. He's a great dude.
You were on the Fieldhouse Files.
That I was. I was part
surprised
of a
me.
podcast.
That
Why did that
surprised
surprise
me
you?
because I just didn't see it coming. I listened to it for a while.
Did you see
then
the
all
Wish
of a sudden-
TV spot 2 days ago?
No.
I was featured on
He's-
Wish TV. They were
he's-
asking me about the March Madness thing.
He's all gung-ho for it.
Jake, I am so sorry. I did put you on timeout. I did not know that the default was 5 straight minutes. I did not know that. So I will change those settings and do it only for 10 seconds next time. I was totally not expecting it to be 5 minutes. I am so sorry. I saw it go on for 300 seconds and I went, oh my God, I did not mean that. So Jake, no, much love. We're going to get spammed with hashtag Aaron for president.
I'm all for it.
Suns take Vassell. Calling it now.
You know, if you want to be president, you have to show us that ice cream.
No.
You have ice cream?
I've had it since we got to school. We don't need to talk about it.
There's ice cream. What
Yeah.
kind?
There
he is.
There,
All
He's
right.
back.
All right. So I'm going to let him in, and now we're going to have a show, a real show.
He gets the floor.
Scotty, what's up, buddy?
He's back.
Now unmute yourself before we get going.
What's going on, my guy?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm living. How are you?
Look at this guy coming in. We
I thought you were. What are you doing? I thought you returned from Orlando. I'm confused.
I'm still there. I'm making sure everybody knows that I'm still there. But no, dude, no, I'm so happy to have you on. So I had to get the bus driven over me. I was doing hosting duties.
Okay.
And my co-host here, his name is Kyle. He sent me a chat, and I'm not paying attention to the chat. Why? Because I'm hosting. I'm looking between 4 different screens here, right? You know, you were a producer,
Right.
and yeah, you've been talent, right?
Absolutely.
This guy sends me a chat instead of just interrupting me and saying, "Hey, we've got Scott Agnes," and oh, okay, I'll go to the waiting room and let him in. No. Instead, I get it an hour later, and I'm like, "Oh my God, he's so mad at me now." So but
I knew
were,
something was up because you're on it. But how's the stream been going? Good discussions?
Yeah, it seems to be. Now we've had some picks have happened though. Well, let's talk to you. Let's get your expert analysis here for a little bit because I know you're an expert in all of this. So By the way, Scott Agnes, he's like Mr. General Guy. He is IUPUI women's basketball TV talent. He is the writer of the Fieldhouse Files, which, if you get the chance, Scott, where are we sending them here?
Yeah, just go to fieldhousefiles.com and then also the Fieldhouse Files podcast.
And he's done a podcast with me talking about the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all kinds of people on. He's had many, many great people on. And he is a guy I run into at Pacers games about every game, honestly. And then I run into him at women's basketball games. Awesome dude. If you get the chance to get out to a women's basketball game, come down and say hi to him. Super good dude. So, Scotty, so far, how would you rate what's been happening in the draft? I know this draft has been a question mark for a lot of people. They've not necessarily been saying it's the deepest draft. They've been kind of questioning it. So what's happened so far, and what do you think of it so far?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in all this that we were wondering is how it shook up at the top with the top three, because outside of that, everyone following the draft then it could shake out just based on where teams were feeling about different guys in their own evaluations, because this was just such an unusual setting, obviously. And that's
hold on, Scotty. I'm going to interrupt you. Hold on. Kamish is on. Jalen Smith to the Suns. Jalen Smith.
Is that the big guy from Maryland? Right?
Yes. Big from Maryland. So, Scotty, talk about continue.
Yeah, so I was going to hype more the process, because I'll be honest, I'm not one of the guys that's superly obsessive about the draft. I couldn't tell you much about Jalen Smith's game. I'm primarily NBA, primarily Pacers, and in the process within that. So that's what I was going to get on here, is teams could go visit and see in-person workouts with up to 10 individuals. The Pacers, for example, chose not to do any of them. They said, for one, we don't have a first round pick. And secondly, just with COVID, they said, hey, it's not worth it. We've actually been studying this draft class for 17 months. So they were one of the few teams that decided not to do that. I feel bad for these prospects in many ways, because there's even local guys that went back to college who, in my mind, if they went to the pre-draft workouts in the combine, that's when they show out, right? Because we look at those top three picks, we knew they had raw talent. None of them really played a lot of NBA basketball, college basketball. They didn't do much of that. It was all in the evaluation process. They have the intangibles. The wingspan is the number one thing, by the way, they look at, of course.
By the way, hold on. In the chat, anybody got a count on Jay Billis with the incredible length? Do we have a count on that yet?
Potential.
Wait a minute. Hold on. There was. I can't try to remember what it was. Sorry, Scotty. We've got a count.
No, you're good. It's
here.
a discussion. I'm good with it.
There's the huge upside count and the incredible length count. Anybody got my update there? Has anybody been paying attention to Jay Billis? No, I'm not getting anything here. So, all right. So, Scotty. So,
but hold on. By the way, shout out to my guy Kyle down there. He's got the Christmas tree. Yeah. Fun fact: because of COVID, I said I'm not taking it down till it's over. You can't put it back up if you've never taken it down.
Well,
and I'd show you, but I got my office set up here, so I can't.
You know what? You got a nice setup there, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, I got 5 monitors and my phones, and
is this where I was recorded that day on the podcast?
You were, yeah. Absolutely.
See, I got my 48-inch width corner in my bedroom with 2 monitors and a TV and a ring light. Mm-hmm. That's what I got. So I don't have the nice setup that you got going on here, but I sure as heck try to make it reality. Look that way.
So you might as well make the best of the situation. So I go, you got to have whatever screens are necessary. So I have 3 different TV broadcasts going on, Twitter, the draft board, text messaging on a computer. So it's way easier. That's how you got to do it.
Look at this guy. He's all over the tech stuff in his room right there. All right. So Scott, now I don't know how long you're going to hang with us, but now I'm a hot take guy. So, you got any hot takes? I mean, you may not, you said you're not the expert into the NCAA side of things, but what do you think's going to happen the rest of the way? Is there anything that's going to surprise you on the board?
Nothing that jumps out. The thing I have been tracking though is what Boston Celtics are going to do here. They have 3 picks coming up in this first round. They don't need any of them probably right now. And so they really would benefit from getting off of them. So that's one thing that's worth tracking a little bit, and seeing what teams are looking to move up in the early second round, because that's where you're going to get value, especially in this draft when teams probably ranked guys more differently than maybe usual because they're not having all those events. And so if you can get a guy that bounces out of the first round, you can get him on a cheap multi-year contract. That's what I'm looking to do if I'm a team. And so I forget which team it was, but we already saw one jump into the second round. Oh, it was the Milwaukee Bucks, actually. They made the deal with the Orlando Magic, and one of those second-round picks future for Orlando is the Indiana pick. So I think you'll see perhaps more of that a couple more times.
All right, gentlemen. So I'm going to just throw this at you guys. You got somebody in the discussion now that, is living the life, right? You guys are in direct contact with the guy living the life. Aaron, you're a writer for 8 points, 9 seconds, right? Got any questions for Scotty while we got him in the room?
Do we have any updates on Hayward to Indiana yet?
I knew he was going to go there. I knew immediately he was going to go there.
Yeah, so that's something that's I've been tracking for about 3 weeks now. Gordon wants to be here. His family wants to be here. He's fine with Boston and staying in there, but I think what you'll ultimately see is whatever happens is he won't just play this year out. He'll either sign and be traded or decline what he's doing and get an extension. I think just more guaranteed money there, and he's playing the long game, right? And so you could see him, I think, re-up for 90 to 113 million or something over 3 or 4 years. But the challenge in all that is dealing with the Celtics, right? And getting them compensated correctly, because it's not too difficult to do it from the Pacers standpoint, right? Because you'd see his contract would not be for 34 million. You don't have to match that 34 million. He'd sign something new. Let's say 25 million for 4 years. So that's 100 million. 25 is what you'd have to add up. So it'd be a Miles Turner and something else. And so it's playing ball with the Celtics is where it can get difficult.
Hey, look at him. He just grabbed his phone. Something just blew up, whether it be a
I'm just
Shams
getting
bomb
texts
or
and notifications. Yeah, everything.
I knew that. That's why I knew as soon as he picked it up. See, he's staying on the phone. I made these guys. Well, they kind of voluntarily decided to put the phones away and listen to the TV, right? So, that's
see, I can't do that. I'm one of those, as a reporter, I want to know as quickly as possible. So while I enjoy the TV broadcasts, I want the intel, and then I know what to listen for or to go research or learn more, like about this this Israeli player that's going to the Wizards. I think that could be a fascinating guy to read up on here.
Well, I'm here to tell you, Aaron, what do you know about your boy Denny?
I love Denny. I think he'll be great, but I don't know how great he'll be in Washington.
See, Scotty, he's the Denny guy, and he could help, y'all can talk, that's what I'm trying to do here. You know what I'm saying? What's going on in the chat? I got AJ asking Scott, Pacers looking to move up at all? That's a quick answer. I know it is.
I could answer that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. They don't have much money to work with if they had to move up. So the biggest thing is they have to get better through trades, which could lead to maybe future drafts, but yeah, they're strapped with their financial situation. Don't have much more than $8 million to work with if they stay where they are right now. So not really.
Looks like
Sadiq
San
Bey.
Antonio took Devin Vassell.
Yeah, they
So,
took-
Vassell.
Devin Vassell to San Antonio. You already knew that 10 minutes ago, didn't you, Scott?
They're on Sacramento right now. So.
They're way out in front of us. We're just living the life here, trying to put comedy together with some fun stuff. And we're going to the chat, but the chat has been a bit of a disaster. They have not done the things that I've wanted them to do. Oh, wait. Nolan did drop something that said, a question for Aaron. Aaron, when will the article come out about Denny not falling to the Pacers? I really want to hear your takes. Please write about it. Thanks. These are his friends. So
Okay.
I say we ban all of them from the chat so they stop asking me so many questions.
Scott, Kyle, that's on you. If you want to ban people, you got to change the amount of time because I don't think they deserve 5 minutes. Okay, Scott, here's another one for you.
Sure.
Do you think that Hayward will come here? He can want to all he wants. Do you think he'll come here? So in other words, do you think he'll come here?
It's mostly and from what I've heard, it's basically in the Celtics' hands with what they're willing to accept from the Pacers in a trade. He wants to be here. He cannot come here and just opt out of his current deal and sign as a free agent. Like I alluded to earlier, Pacers have no money really to work with. especially a guy that's due excess of $34 million for next season. So it takes two to tangle. And so sounds like it's primarily on the Celtics here.
So what do you think would be the, I guess, carrot to the Celtics?
I think it'd be obviously Miles Turner. That's a given because that fulfills a need. Money pretty solid with he's actually 18 million. I think I said 21 earlier. He's about 18
That's Vic
million.
though, right? Vic's 21, right?
Vic's 21, and by design, he's the highest paid player on the team. Malcolm in the sign and trade last year, slightly below that, and then next is Domantas Sabonis. But yeah, so you have Miles at 18. I think you have to throw another player in there. Perhaps it's a Doug McDermott, and maybe what you get back is something too, because the Pacers are doing them a favor because Gordon technically could leave and they get nothing. So maybe you'd throw in a first-round pick from the Celtics, or at least that's what the Pacers are looking for. Or maybe they'd be willing to throw in a guy like Romeo Langford, who still is several years away, has some appeal in this market, and they're not giving up too much.
So AJ has added on to that and said,
Okay.
Have you heard of any other targets for the Pacers via trade?
Nothing completely just yet. A lot of it has to make sense. I mean, there's not much interest in Victor right now. There's There's several willing suitors for Miles Turner. He has some value. I think the Pacers, they have to decide outside of a potential Gordon deal is do you want to go into this season and give it another try with Domas and Miles, do you want to last till the trade deadline and maybe then you could get more value, or do you just want to start from the beginning with Domas as your center, with TJ as your 4, and go from there? And if Miles is the case, I mean, Atlanta in previous years had made a lot of sense. They've been interested. I think there's plenty of interest if they were looking to move off him. But right now, I think they've taken a back seat to that and just tried to evaluate their whole situation and their bevy of options.
So Halliburton to the Kings here from Iowa State. Ethan in the chat, you got to tell me, is Halliburton your guy? So what do you think of that pick to go alongside De'Aaron Fox? Scotty, what do you think of that?
Oh, to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you
what
were
do you think of
asking Aaron.
Halliburton? No. What do you think of Halliburton to the Kings alongside De'Aaron Fox?
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about the Kings to me is what just didn't happen, right? With Bogdan Bogdanović and what they're doing there. And clearly, so this is what I read into all that situation. Something about it just doesn't smell right because it came out right 2 nights ago. And if the Kings wanted to counter that, they would quickly tell a reporter here, hey, no, we're not doing that. Or Bogdan's agent. Why is it taking 2 days for that message to come across here? So something's fishy. Something smells with the Sacramento Kings. And so that's what stands out to me. And they've improved as a franchise in terms of their front office, but now it makes me question maybe a previous situation, right? And do you want to lump them back in with the Knicks and back in with the Phoenix Suns?
Kai, what about you? What do you think? What do you think of Halliburton going to the Kings?
I like it. I'm surprised he fell down this far. But with this draft being all over the place, I mean, I don't think you can really pass up on him. But yeah, also to the point of what happened with the Bogdanović, I thought that was really weird. It just about how he's just never agreed to go into Milwaukee, and now he's going to be a restricted free agent. And I don't know, really weird situation.
Aaron,
here's what I quickly read into that situation. His agent probably got word from other teams like, wait, how much are you going for? Oh, I'll give you more. And so then you run it over with the player. He's like, well, maybe I don't want to win a title as much as I want to get paid. And so that's what it suggests to me. I don't know that to be the case though.
Have you ever experienced that though in your time being around that stuff?
I don't think so, because usually it does not reach the level of being reported as finalized to get to that point. Because otherwise, I mean, through back channels, maybe a week leading up to that, if you have a good agent, that's the purpose of hiring a good agent, is they're surveying teams and finding out your value, what teams will have interest. For example, a guy like Gordon, for the last several weeks, his agent should have been surveying other teams on the side, right? And figuring out, hey, if he opts out, what are you willing to give him?
Aaron, what do you think?
Well, I don't think you pass up on him because I thought there's no way he'd fall that far. But if we're going to talk about the Kings, the first word I think of is dysfunctional. So hopefully they get better at that.
It seemed like they had, but now this. So I don't know. Maybe it could be the player and his agent to blame. That we don't know yet.
Or
Yeah,
it could be the organization to blame, right? It could be any of the three.
They took Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic, and
Yeah.
even then it was questionable. So
Now they have new management, though, right? So
that's a fair point.
Vladdy's out.
That's why.
That's a fair point. All right, so another question dropping in from the chat for you, Scott.
Okay.
You think we'll keep Justin Holiday on the roster?
That's their hope. Again, kind of going back to their money situation, they don't have a ton to offer them. It's going to have to come out of their mid-level exception. Could be as much as $9 million, but then you're into the luxury tax, so it certainly wouldn't be the full mid-level, and that's of course assuming everything stays as it's currently presented. But the thing that Justin has been wanting is a multi-year deal. He's been in the league almost 10 years and has never been given that opportunity. So I think some stability would be nice for, I think he's now 31, but at the same time, I know he really enjoyed playing beside Aaron. He just had his second kid over the summer, so some stability would be nice. I know the Pacers valued him and would like him back, but it just depends how much at the time that they're willing to offer and how much he's comfortable with taking. But I think there should be a couple suitors at least for him and what he's able to contribute. He's a guy that played in every single game. So
Noah in the chat dropped a nice one here. He said, where was it? Carson Edwards is greater than Romeo Langford. Scott, is that a hot take or is that ice cold?
I don't believe that's the case. I think Carson Edwards has a better chance to get hot in a game or on a series, but I think in the long term, I would buy what Romeo has in his potential. Right now, he doesn't just have it, but he's also been battling injuries. Quite frankly, he needs to get the health. He needs the card that allows him to be healthy because he hadn't had the opportunity to play prolonged stints. I remember, I think he came in, played 2 games, and then suffered an injury while on a stint with the G League. Like, he's just had rotten luck, similarly to what Gordon Hayward's dealt with. So,
all right. So we've got a hashtag in the chat, buddy, healed to Indy.
I wouldn't like that.
Why, Scotty?
Yeah, I don't like that. I forget what his contract situation is too.
I'm guessing it's probably pretty big.
28 million.
Yeah, that makes zero sense for what the Pacers are doing and what they're trying to reduce salary, not add that, especially for a guy that's not going to be your featured guy. I don't like that. No.
Aaron
is mid-20s. So.
Is this a friend of yours, Bethan? Is that a friend?
Beethan.
Beethan, is that a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Nolan is carrying the draft right now, according to the chat. I defer to the chat on this one because we have an active chat tonight, Scott. So I'm deferring to them on a lot of things.
What is this going out on? Is this on YouTube?
Oh, it's live on YouTube right now. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Actually, hold on. If my moderator was at his desk, we would be dropping the link to the YouTube on the chat to you so you could have it and you could actually bring it up if you wanted to see what
he could watch the meltdown.
Yep.
I just have to plug in my laptop.
It was a nice plug though, Scott. It was nice of you to compliment him on his Christmas tree. He was talking about that the other day.
Love it. No, it's great.
So what else is going on with you?
I haven't kept mine up all year though.
What else is going on with you, Agnes? I mean, you got to be kind of pumped. Everything's getting started for you, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Cautiously,
all the freelance
I'm
stuff?
optimistic, right? And so, for one, it was great today, the fact that we know there's going to be 3 more games scheduled at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. So I'm going to try to get into that. And first of all, there's been all kinds of renovations to the Fieldhouse. 3 phases. The first one's complete, and because of no games and no events, they were actually able to go into what they plan to do phase 2 and do some of that work, like a new video board. That was not part of phase 1. They've been able to accomplish that. So I hope to go to one of those early games and just write about what I'm seeing, what's different. I know, for example, like in the restrooms, they've made the sinks and all that automatic. So in the COVID age, you don't have to touch. Just little things like that. I am excited. You got IUPUI broadcast coming up for me here in about a month or so.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Maybe in a week, depending on COVID situation with an opponent, is from what I've heard. So Could be a week, maybe a month.
So is it
so
Kyra,
that excites me a little
is it
bit.
Kyra Lewis Jr.?
Yeah, I
Kira?
believe that's how you pronounce it.
Just went to the
Yeah.
Pelicans.
I think it's Kira. I think it's Kira Lewis.
Is it, what do you think? What do you think, guys?
But he's quick.
Yeah,
He's
he was
quick and
prepared.
he's good at defense.
He's prepared
They
to-
also just traded for 2 point guards.
True.
Bledsoe and Hill.
So, Aaron, give me more there. What does that mean?
I think that means they should trade George Hill back to the Pacers, but that's just my opinion.
I'm waiting to see if Scotty has a response, and he has a little giggle. So, all right.
Oh,
all right.
what I'm laughing about is Lewis is rep by the same guy as Victor. So for me, that interests me.
I'm putting 2 and 2 together here.
No, there's nothing there.
Okay. All right.
No.
All right. There's no 2 and 2 to
just
put together here.
One thing I'm fascinated by is who reps who and when they go, right? For example, Obi Toppin, CAA guy. Everybody, Leon Rose and World Wide West have brought in, have CAA connections, which entertains me, right? So their head coach, assistant coaches, Obi Toppin, CAA. So sometimes you can follow the trail.
Well,
I'm just curious.
If you've never read Scotty's stuff, Scotty does not take on the normal reporting role. Okay.
No.
I've been in the locker room with this guy, and the things he asks, I don't know if you still have that story or not, or if you actually did a story, but the one question was, did you go see Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker?
That was for Miles Turner.
It was right to Miles Turner. Now, if you knew Miles had a Stormtrooper helmet in his locker. So that was a great question. And I just sat there and listened. I mean, I wasn't taking the quote down. I just listened. I was like, and he said, yeah, I did. And I was like, oh, well, he's a Star Wars guy. So Scotty gets to uncovers stuff that.
So the point of that, Jeff, is try to make him more comfortable. So, hey, how's it going? Hey, did you go to that new Star Wars movie? What'd you think?
Well, he was pretty comfortable.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the last couple. So he gave me a quote, and then I moved on, and he was a little bit more relaxed after that. So
he was
that's
too.
the strategy oftentimes.
That was the kicker, was that he was like real chill after that. And I was like, Scott, like he was interested in Scott at that point. It was like, did you see it? You know, I was just sitting there like, dude, this conversation just took off. I was like, I was not expecting a Star Wars question in the locker room. It just wasn't happening.
My other random question I constantly asked to one guy, to Goga Batadze, because I was just laughing at the fact that he had bought an Audi before last season, and as of when they entered the bubble, still did not have his license. So he had a great car for like 9 months and still didn't have his license. I don't know if that's changed, but you're right. We miss a big opportunity going through the locker room. My big time is especially in the pregame. That's when I rarely talk basketball. That's when I'm watching the Masters with Doug McDermott. That's when I'm talking about shoes with Edmund Sumner. And it might not mean anything for a couple months, but down the road it does. And that's where I try to take pride in not only the basic reporting, but the other aspects that go into all this and finding their passions.
So
because
the stuff
people
that you
interest
have in the
me
can,
outside of the basketball.
the stuff that you have canned has got to be, you're like, oh, I'm going to write about this now. And then it's March. This is October and you're writing about this. And then it's March and this is a perfect time to drop it. Right. Yeah, no, that's awesome. No, I love that. I love that aspect of the we've talked about this before in the locker room.
Right.
But I love that fact. That's
the hardest part for me, honestly, is making time to write stories. For example, while in Detroit probably been a year ago, I watched the first half with Edmund Sumner's parents. What is it? It was the first time their son had played back in their hometown. What was this like? What was that experience? Did you ever think you'd have this moment? How about this? I think Edmund Sumner, he was at the brawl. He was in the stands as a Pistons fan at the brawl. Now, I haven't written that story yet, but there's all these different tidbits that come out. And so I could probably not talk to anybody for 30 days and write 30 stories based on old material that I've gathered. So again, it just goes on trying to find the time and facilitate. Like right now, I've been working on a piece on Ryan Carr, the VP, basically runs the draft for the Pacers. Been working on something with that for over a year now. How he didn't know too much about IU other than Bob Knight. And he became an IU manager because one of his best friends' dad bought basketballs, and that company sponsored Bob Knight. So somehow through a letter from his best friend, he got contacted by Bob Knight, got approved to be an IU manager and then got his first gig with the Pacers and worked at Burger King on the side because he was getting like $100 a game. Like, it's a great feature story those are the things I love as much as a transactional game.
In case you didn't know, he's an IU guy, right? In case you didn't know, he is an Indiana guy. So Scott Agnes is an Indiana guy. Just put it out there to you. So Woj is now up 9-6. Okay. So I have not gotten my update. Where is the incredible length? And what's the other one?
Wait, what about Woj? What are you tracking
Woj is up.
here?
We're tracking the
potential.
Woj versus Shams bombs.
Okay. So
Woj
you're
is
not
up.
just those two, nobody else?
Yep. Woj is up. Well, we had one for Haynes.
Yeah, I agree.
The huge upside and incredible length. I've not got an account. Where's my count?
I
Aaron
think that's a lost
Nesmith.
cause.
Aaron Nesmith to the Celtics.
Makes sense.
He was
Small
ranked as
forward.
the best shooter in the draft.
Now he's a small forward. What?
I'm curious for you guys that really haven't talked. What most interests you about the draft? What do you like? Is it the storylines? Is it where these young guys go? Is it learning about the family stories like we saw with Obi Toppin and other guys? What do you like?
Chase, I'll throw it at you first.
I just like overall seeing how all the puzzle pieces fit with what teams need and then what they actually take, or what a team is thinking about doing. It just all the moving pieces with, like, we thought half the teams in the lottery were going to trade, and nobody actually ended up trading so far.
Yeah,
That's
that's
wild.
true. Hasn't been a lot of action other than leading up to the draft where there was a couple trades.
See, I run this more like a what's that show? What's that show? Around the Horn. I run this like Around the Horn. I just pick random people at random times. So Kai, what do you think of Scott's question?
Well, this draft particularly I was interested in just because it was all over the place, which it has been.
Yep.
I did want more trades, but it is just cool just looking at like, oh, look, this is why some teams took this guy, and then reading up the draft reports, and then sometimes listening to the little stories they have. That's about it.
So Scott, what do you attribute what's going on in this draft? It doesn't seem like anybody wants to do anything right now. Do you attribute that to COVID?
Well, I think one, kind of like Kai was referring to, is there was the teams more than ever had a difficult time reading the room and understanding where teams ahead of them would be going. So part of the reason you're seeing some of the national guys break stuff is because that's teams giving them names of who they're drafting in exchange for maybe who's going ahead of them 2 or 3 down the road or in front of them, right? They may be publicly 1 or 2 in advance, but they potentially could be 5 in advance, let's say. Or if this guy's on the board, that's who we're locked in on, right? And so teams are in the days leading up to it, like today, mostly what they're doing is calling around and trying to figure out what teams in front of them are doing. So when it's their turn on the clock, they kind of know 2 of these 3 guys will very likely be on the board. So yeah, that's the difficulty in following all this. And I think also maybe why you're not seeing moves and people wanting to spend is because in these COVID times, they're not trying to add more liabilities, more cost onto their balance sheet right now, because we don't know for sure if next season will get off and running like we hope it does.
Oh, something has been dropped. The chat just went nuts on a trade. Said there's a Woj bomb out there. Ricky Rubio back to Mini.
Oh yeah,
Rubio
Denver got
going
2 more
home.
picks.
That's been out there here for like.
See, look what you guys did, Nolan and Connor. Look what you did. You dropped a Connor and Nolan bomb on us. Look what you did here.
Yeah,
I
so
looked
that's
back at
been
my
out
phone
there.
like 5 minutes ago.
I saw that about 30 minutes ago. I think what you're doing here is Rubio. No, John Krasinski of The Athletic. Excellent job. He had posted that I saw first. He's Rubio's a fan favorite in Minnesota. He didn't really want to leave. As it was described to me, is the Pacers were on the goal line of signing him, and then they aborted, got a sign and trade deal with Malcolm Brogdon, and then Rubio got a better deal money wise in Phoenix. So this is a guy that planned to come to Indy, expected to for 2 weeks, went to Phoenix, and now is going on. If you technically count where he's currently at is OKC, right? I think
Yes.
And is going on his 5th team in 7 years, something like that. Even though this last day is like 5 days, 2 days, but
Boys in the chat, I am disappointed. All these guys on this video have had their phone turned over or thrown onto their bed, and you guys go and do this. You guys go and destroy it by dropping this and the confirmation. You're killing me here. All right. I was going to ask AJ's question, but now I'm going to hold off. I was going to ask Adnis AJ's question, but now I'm going to hold off. That was a good question.
You got a couple more, and then I'm going to jump off here.
Oh, Agnes is going to leave us. All right. So AJ says,
give me a couple more questions.
How's Vic doing with the front office with the reports from Jay Michael about him possibly being upset with some teammates?
Yeah, so a lot of that reporting I don't want to speak to because I don't know, and it wasn't my reporting there. I do know that when Vic's first injury happened back in December of 2018, I think it was, starting around that time period, there had been some friction, I should say. And then that's where we saw Vic go to Miami. That's where he chose the doctor, where he chose where to rehab, where he hired his own physical therapist. And then what was interesting is last season when he returned in late January, his physical therapist was traveling. But unlike most teams, some are more flexible, some are not. The Pacers did not allow for his physical therapist to be part of the team travel. So actually, when I was forget where I was, maybe I went New York to Toronto or the other way, he was on my same plane. And this is a guy that's Victor's guy. Whereas, for example, the Boston Celtics, they encourage families to go. So if you want your wife and girlfriend or kids to come, they're welcome. Other teams, for example, like the Pacers, very strict in that. So I'd say it's improved. There's been somebody from the Pacers that has gone down to Miami and checked in on him. During normal time, it'd be every other week or something. I don't know what the pattern is right now, just to check in on him, show face, be down there, whether it's a strength coach, an assistant coach. Generally, Bill Bano spends a lot of time with him. He was retained as an assistant coach and works a lot with Domantas Sabonis as well as Oladipo. So as I understand it right now, I would say they have a good relationship. I don't think it's great necessarily, because I think in the end, they will go separate ways, and they should. This is a marriage that needs a divorce.
What makes you think that?
I think primarily it's Victor has other interests than what the Pacers are wanting, who from everything I've seen, have catered to him for the most part without exceeding that. They're not trying to necessarily make exceptions, which kind of speaks to that traveling rule. But at the same time, they allowed that guy, his physical therapist around the facility. They allow him to have some special needs, but not a ton. Yet at the same time, Victor wants to be the guy. He wants to be the featured guy. He's not the leader anymore. That's Malcolm Brogdon. So he's kind of lost that. And I wrote this a couple months ago, he's just lost the joy right now. And I don't know how he gets it back, but he's not the fun, playful, and to use his word, feathery character and guy that he was. I don't know why he lost that joy, but he needs, for his own right, he needs to find that again. And we don't know what he looks like basketball wise, but I know he tried to get away. He actually went to Greece, which I thought was interesting, and tried to look into, hey, was there something there with Giannis? Was Giannis trying to recruit him? Because G Hill was, I was told, also in Greece a couple weeks before that. Now they didn't overlap with Vic, but I was like, hey, is something going down there? It turns out I don't think there was, from what I was told. But Victor went to Greece for like a week, tried to reset, and then now is back in Miami. And even his basketball trainer flew down to join him and is trying to ramp up now for the season.
So, okay, so there's one more question in the chat, and then I want to talk to you quick before you head out. The coaching staff, has it been solidified? Because Connor's saying he's heard Danny Manning rumors.
So the primary coaching staff has been finalized with Kayla Canales, with Greg Foster, and then retaining Bill Bano. I believe Calbert Cheney's coming in as more of a player development, player relations type guy. I think he'll be behind the bench. Danny Manning's something Kevin Pritchard want, who Danny's out of a job right now. I think he's going to go into TV more so. But everything I've heard with Danny is he was insistent on, I got to be in front of the bench. I'm a big time guy. I've been around the game for so long. Whereas the Pacers were like, hey, we already got our staff, but would you come on and be kind of behind the bench, which to some is, I guess, a disrespect. And so I don't think that's happening. and which
what
is
does that say?
what led to Calbert Chaney, actually.
Yeah. So what does that say about Chaney? Is he the behind the bench guy?
Yeah, What I don't know is if they're going to hire another one just yet. I do know they need a couple more video coordinators. That's another position that is usually tied to the head coach, and they got rid of them. And then there's 3 more basketball operations staffs, kind of the ones that are around the team on a daily basis. I don't expect for them to be brought back as well. So there's lesser known behind the scenes people that they still have not yet hired.
All right. So the timing of this question came in at the perfect time. I like the question. I'm going to ask it. If you want to leave, you can. I know Vic and Sabonis were close. Would Sabonis be upset if Vic was dealt or left?
Yeah, they joke that they're brothers, and they've been through a lot, right? Because they were traded together from OKC. They came here and had no expectations, not low. They had no expectations for what they could be and maybe what they could become here. And I think at this point, I think we all see the writing on the wall, much like Dan Burke did as an assistant coach. Like that was 2 months ago, whatever it was. You can just see the direction this franchise is going. So I think absolutely he'd be sorry, he'd be disappointed, but it's not like it would be a curveball or something that's not unexpected at this point. And Sabonis is a guy, he's got to get healthy. Remember, he had that foot injury that kept him out of the bubble. So he's got to worry about himself as he's now starting this significant contract where he's making $18.1 million per year.
Yeah, he had the plantar fasciitis.
They were close friends, though, no doubt about it. Still are.
Yeah, I'm sure they will be regardless. So, all right. So, Scott, again, thank you for coming on tonight. Fieldhousefiles.com. This guy is the guy, okay? I know that you, Aaron, are a writer. You need to get yourself connected to Scott. Scott can advise you whatever he wants to do here. Get connected with him somehow. He's the guy. You're a Pacers guy. He's a Pacers guy. Get connected somehow. Scotty, is there anything else you want to add before taking off here tonight?
No, not really. It was a good chat. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we stay on here. We've been on here 2 hours now. We stayed on for 4.5 during the NFL draft. So
wow, that's excessive.
Oh, no, it was the whole first round. That's how long the first round took.
I know that's how long it went, though.
It was
I remember
terrible.
I also had Pat McAfee pulled up. I had 3 or 4 different NFL Network, ESPN, and I was just stunned how long it was dragged out.
Yeah, we had a good time. It just dragged. It just kept going and
Right.
and wouldn't stop. So, but fieldhousefiles.com, Scott Agnes, thank you, buddy, for coming on. I will hopefully see you soon at women's basketball games at IUPUI, and I definitely will see you at the Fieldhouse when the time comes.
I know you won't at IUPUI. I was told if games go on, I will be doing those remotely. So think about that. I'm calling a game from a studio. That'll be a whole new challenge, but not unusual.
You'll be calling it from right in your office. I wouldn't.
No,
I would not be surprised if you were calling it right in your office. I bet you they set you up with a production thing and everything.
I wish, but no. It sounds like I'll have to go to the north side and to the Tupelo Raycom studios.
The Tupelo Raycom studio. Yes, the north side. I'm not a north sider. I'm a west sider. So thank you, buddy, for coming on. We appreciate it. Thank you again, bud. All right, guys. So we just had Scott Agnes here. Like, that's awesome, right?
Yes.
I'm not
after our mishap.
After your disaster.
That's the highlight that's going to be put in the group this time. Instead of you guys forgetting the meeting, it'd be clipped out. And
AJ saying that Scotty gave him some good advice a week or 2 ago. Said he should start a podcast. Was that you, Aaron, or was that AJ?
AJ.
Because for some reason he tagged you on that.
Yeah,
I think he was throwing shade at Aaron.
No. Never mind. We don't need to talk about it.
Well, now that you can't leave the other ones in the chat out of the loop here. What's going on in the chat? Nobody's talking. It's 10-7, Woj? 10-6, not 10-7.
My final count for picks I got right in the lottery was 5.
Isaiah Stewart proposed trade to Detroit.
Yeah, he's going to go to Detroit.
We're sitting here way behind because the TV is just way behind. So I don't know. Do we just bail on the TV and let you get your phones out?
I've been on my phone for like 20 minutes since we stopped taking pics.
So he broke the rules. All right.
Well, we weren't taking pics anymore. I had to start looking.
See mine back there.
Thanks, Chase.
One pick. Pretty much.
Shams is catching up. Rumor that the Nets are looking to trade number 19. Nolan dropping in the chat. Boys, what do you think?
I have no idea what they're going to do. I think they're completely reliant on if the Rockets will allow Harden to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he completely destroyed his own trade market saying, I want to go to the Nets.
Yep.
But also put that Instagram or whatever it was about the cap
Clippers,
on the table.
The Clippers are trading Shamet to the Nets for number 19.
Landry to the Nets for the 19th pick. Wow.
Yep.
Well, all right. The chat's got it. Like it's Colin, Nolan. It's Nolan, Connor, AJ, and Blake that have taken over the chat. They've taken over. Like there's none of our people in here. Where are our people? Where'd you go,
Jake's here,
Jake?
but he's a Cavs fan. He doesn't really count.
Where'd you go, Jake? You know,
He should be happy. He's got a Coro.
He was
Had
the
a good
first
pick.
ever timeout on the SMC YouTube channel, by the way. He was the first ever timeout, which I thought was very welcome in the moment. 2 Divas and a Durant. That's what he has to say. That's what Jake has to drop in the chat. 2 Divas and a Durant.
Minnesota takes a chance on the Serbian.
Pakashevsky. Man, he is thin.
Oh, yeah.
I am very disappointed in who am I disappointed in? Where'd it go? Cage disappeared from the chat. The J Billis huge upside and incredible length count starts now, and he didn't follow through. I am sad about that. Wow.
I actually think that Pokasevsky, however you say his name, is going to OKC.
Oh,
The 17 pick is actually OKC's,
Hmm.
according to Woj.
so when did Minnesota make that trade?
I don't know, but it just says Oklahoma City is targeting Pokasevsky.
It does have a trade next to it on CBS. It does have 2 OKC on it. Okay, so look at this. So I'm looking at CBS's draft tracker. 19. What in the heck? It's got Brooklyn from Brooklyn. It's got 21 Philly from they
Shams
screwed that
just
up.
dropped something. The Clippers Nets trade's a 3-team trade now, and the Clippers are getting Luke Kennard, which is very good.
Oh,
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Kennard to the Clips.
So okay. Well, they leave, so they get rid of Shamet, replace it with Kennard, basically.
That is a big upgrade.
I mean, Shamet's pretty good.
he has his moments.
Yeah, but Kennard's definitely.
Well, if you only play Luke Kennard against the Pacers, he's the greatest player of all time.
Hey, he
You know what
shot lights out against the Pacers.
You know what I find to be amusing is that the NBA's Twitch channel is offline. Wouldn't you think that'd be a good place to put this?
Imagine if we were on Twitch too, on Twiz's page.
Oh, it would have been a disaster.
You could have been a moderator and really timed people out, banned people.
Well, I can ban and time them out right now.
Yeah, but you can decide. You can do 30 seconds, not 5 minutes automatically.
All I know is that
On
my
Twitch.
night was made with Scotty Agnes making his appearance. That made my night. The only other person that I was hoping to have on was D. Schultz, and he couldn't because he had to pick up his little boy today. So, yeah. So I was hoping to have Schultz on here.
And you have 5 of the greatest NBA reporters here.
5? Who's the 5th? For a matter of fact, who's the 4th?
Chase, Aaron, Kai,
That's where you can stop.
Kyle,
I'm just a host.
and you.
That's where you stop. I'm just a host.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not very. Execute order 66.
Josh Green to Dallas.
Okay, somebody educate me.
Star Wars. It's what they used to take out all the Jedi.
Yep.
Are they trying to say we should quit what we're doing?
That or take out the top. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're going with it.
Well,
To be completely honest.
I don't understand what that means. Connor's saying, let me hop on the Zoom.
God.
Don't do it.
Aaron shaking his head no and said, "Don't do it." Sorry, boys, not gonna happen.
Pistons have the 19th pick then. Okay.
So it's saying Brooklyn though. Did they just trade it?
Woj says Pistons will get the 19th, and they have 3 inside the top 20 in total.
Yeah, because Isaiah Stewart's going to Detroit. The 16th pick from Portland.
Which I thought they would have taken a guard. That way Dame and CJ don't have to play 44 minutes a game.
Yeah. I mean, you have Trent and.
Are you talking Portland?
Yes.
Yeah, they shipped him out. They shipped Stewart out.
Yes, but I'm surprised they didn't draft a guard for themselves to back up those
But
two.
they traded the pick, so what did they get in return?
That I don't know. That's
Did
what I'm
they get
trying
a guard?
to find.
That's the question. Jeff Teague. AJ, you got to give me more than that, bro.
No, they're gonna start spamming Jeff Teague. It's a joke.
Oh, then don't give me more. I'm so leaning toward just timeouts for these guys. Are you kidding me? Because Aaron is not helping your cause here. Dear Lord.
I didn't say anything.
You did.
Oh.
You Covington.
Who's
Blurwolf, give me something, bro.
The Blazers traded the pick for Robert Covington a few days ago.
Well, where were you 5 minutes ago, Aaron?
Sitting right here.
Then why didn't you respond? Blazers got Covington. Chase was talking about it, and you didn't say a word. You didn't even chime in. What is that all about?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking straight.
He's got the 2 fridges. Connor, we're your whole viewership. Oh, now it's going to go toxic. Here we go. Now it's going to go toxic.
Time me out and I leave.
Now we're going to go toxic. Yeah.
I will say ever since as soon as Scott came in, I thought the Kings and Pelicans both made really good picks with Halliburton and Kira Lewis.
Yeah. I'm just how many guards do the Pelicans have though?
Bledsoe, Hill, Lewis.
Lonzo.
Do they still have Etuan Moore, Lonzo?
Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah, I like the pick of Kira Lewis, but like, are you gonna ship some guys out or like what are you gonna do there? I have no idea.
They probably don't want to keep Bledsoe, but not many teams will want him, I assume.
I don't think so. I have no idea. Well, I mean, I like Kira Lewis, but I don't see Bledsoe. I don't see them trading Bledsoe or letting him go. And
That's why I said I liked it. I just like Kira Lewis. Might be the wrong team, but overall, I think he's a good pick.
yeah,
Just, I think they took player over what they need at that.
I don't even know what else. Like, what do they need? I guess. I mean, I know they're not a complete team, but I don't know exactly what they need or who is available.
Probably I would say a big man that could have played off Zion.
A stretch big would have been perfect.
I don't even know if Zeke can. I don't think Zeke's a stretch.
They have Derek Favors still, but he's just there for defense.
I forgot about that. I forget Derek Favors was taken like top 3. 20 or something.
He was Utah, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He went to Utah.
Yeah. Utah's made a couple interesting picks. It's like him. You have like the Exum pick, Cantor. They've whiffed.
Says here the Nets, who is actually Detroit taking the pick, took Sadiq Bey.
I think CBS had Sadiq going like number 10 or something. Like, yeah, I'm going 10 to the Suns.
I don't have the CBS up.
I only have Kevin O'Connor up, and he has him at 16.
Yeah, I take CBS with a grain of salt. They had RJ Hampton going pretty early too.
I've gotten all my draft knowledge from Kevin O'Connor.
Up, here comes the commish.
With the 19th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Sadiq Bey from Villanova University.
I'd say it's a good pick for them.
Yeah, the Pistons don't really have much direction. They just need any young players they can get.
I mean,
So what's happening with Bay?
he's going to
Pistons.
Detroit, according to Woj.
I feel like he's a similar player to what was that one guy's Dumboyo?
Sekou
Sequoia.
Doumbouya.
Aren't they both like 3-and-D? Well, I guess Sadiq's more of a power forward, and Dumboyo's going to play more of the 3.
So CBS is comparing Bay to Tobias Harris. Interesting.
Well, if you can get somebody as good as Tobias Harris without Tobias Harris's contract, that's a good thing.
Fair.
Contracts seem to affect everything, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know if Tobias is a max player, but I guess you had to pay him that.
My mod has left again.
Just checking in on the dog.
Well, the Sixers just got rid of Al Horford's contract, so they're probably pretty happy with whatever
Yeah.
happens.
My God, we still got 11 more picks. Well, at
That's
least this
how
one's
weird.
not dragging along. This one's moving quick.
This one, the NFL one was kind of ridiculous how long that was. Like, that was insane.
And we stayed with that one just to see what Mechelin's reaction was, and then for some dumb reason we kept going.
Yeah, at least they're moving along, and like we still know some players. Like I still want to see like where some of my sleepers land.
So who are the sleepers that you guys have?
Well, my sleepers aren't really like they're honestly just fan favorites, but like RJ Hampton, Cole Anthony's already taken. I want to see where like Peyton Pritchard goes. Killian Tilly who probably gonna go to like the second round, but I think he's gonna be really good if he can stay healthy.
He's my big one, Killian Tilly out of Gonzaga.
Mm-hmm.
Him, Hampton. I still think Trey Jones will be fine. His shooting improved that second year at Duke.
This draft is just interesting because it has a lot of guys that like going into like their college year, or I guess for Hampton going pro, like they were projected to go top 5, and now they've fallen. So like seeing if those guys like now they're gonna go to solid organizations, like will they progress even faster? Like, I don't know. It's just interesting, but I definitely want to see where. I think Hampton and Tilly are like my most like where I want to see him go.
I want to see where Tyrell Terry goes a lot too.
He's
'Cause
legit. Like
you-
Steph Curry,
you-
2.0.
Yeah, you watch him and he can shoot the lights out, and he goes up when he gets switched on to big guys. He actually like fights them like he is 200 pounds and goes toe to toe with them. So
Billis has got Precious going as the top best available right now for Miami.
I just hope they don't get Tyrell Terry.
they need to replace Kendrick Nunn, so that makes sense.
You've been able to build teams as a leader on the floor. What do you think the
I like
most
it. I
challenging
like
thing will be trying to do that as a coach?
But
Well, you're gonna have to ask me that in a few months.
I feel like Tyrell Terry fits like the Heat culture too. I can imagine like coming off the bench.
To speed. Unfortunately, I have an incredible support system here at the Nets. Coaching staff, all the departments are incredibly mature and well thought
And he's
out.
the gym rat by all accounts. So
Hopefully, I can add a lot for my.
So I just got to looking at the total games schedule matrix for this year, this coming year. What a balanced schedule.
is it what is it? It's one against every team in
Here.
the other conference.
Here, that's the total games. Home games
Yeah.
are down, road games are across, but it's super balanced. Like, that's wild. Everything's 3 games in the East and 2 in the West.
Woj just said Miami's targeting Precious at 20.
Well,
Yeah.
Billis has got him as his number one, so that's what's remaining. So
He could.
it's 2020, and LaMelo Ball is now an NBA player.
LeVar did his job. He got 2 of his kids drafted in the top 3. Pretty insane.
Did Lonzo not earn it?
I thought he was good enough for it.
I thought Lonzo earned it.
I think LaMelo earned it.
Well, I think
LaMelo's
Lonzo.
going to be better.
I think
Yeah.
Lonzo earned it the right way, and I think LaMelo earned it through notoriety.
Because he hasn't really talked that much lately.
He didn't have to. Dad got him enough notoriety early on to get the attention.
To be fair, Chino Hills, when he was a freshman,
They
started
didn't
getting all
help.
that.
They didn't help. Yes, I absolutely agree that Chino Hills did not help, but the notoriety is what sent him abroad. And Dad kept it in the news. But has the kid developed? Absolutely. But he doesn't have that notoriety. What happens?
Well, if he does good, he might change. I mean, I know we're kind of shifting from like going to college, but if he does really well, like we will definitely see more prospects go overseas.
You think?
I think so. Yeah, if he does well, for sure. I think we'll definitely see more prospects follow that route. I don't know if it'll be Lithuania, but maybe more NBL.
Well, against that same thing, you have RJ Hampton, who was a projected top pick, who's now fallen past 20. And he also went
to Miami.
That's true.
Hampton went to the same league as LaMelo, given he came off to a much better team and came off the bench. But
yeah, for sure. And I think part of me is like, I forget that, like, I'm like, well, if he was good enough, then like, he'll be hooping. Like, it doesn't matter. But I forget, like, you gotta be from the player's perspective. You want your stock as high as possible.
His brother's name is God's gift.
No, Jake. I do not think LiAngelo could have eventually been drafted if he didn't decide to shoplift. I don't think that had anything to do with it. Yeah. I don't think he had the talent.
He didn't. He was built more like a football player. He couldn't really slot him anywhere.
I agree that Lonzo had the talent, and I agree that LaMelo had the talent. I don't like the notoriety, but LiAngelo did not have the talent.
No, yeah, not
he was the black sheep out of the 3 of them.
I think believe
he might
Lonzo.
still be on the Thunder's G League team. I don't know.
Yes, but he's not going anywhere with it. He's not going to become a superstar where Lonzo could be, and LaMelo probably will become one.
Yeah.
Even if Lonzo doesn't become a star, he's got defense at least.
Right.
I think LaMelo will develop defensively. It's all mindset. The build, you can't teach his build. So you give him a good coach and you get him to want to play for you and want to try, then maybe, who knows?
Can't teach his passing either.
It's like you can't teach 7 foot. Either you can. Yeah. I mean, passing can be taught. But vision cannot. Having that vision cannot. Good solid. Wraparound passes or knowing where to place the ball can be taught. But it's the vision that can't be, and that's the scary part about it, and that's what made Sabonis' dad so good, was that it was just his raw vision. Arvydas was, I remember watching the guy, and I'm like, how in the heck is this big, huge guy making these ridiculously tender passes? And his son is the same way. Domas is the same way, but he's being forced to handle the ball more. He's being forced to more than Arvydas was. Arvydas was able to dish it off because what did he have with him? Terry Porter and Clyde Drexler.
And Arvydas was doing it with 2 horrible legs.
And Arvydas couldn't move. Arvydas couldn't move at all. Yeah. Once he got to the post, it was give me the ball, and I'm just going to stand here, and I'm going to find a way to look this way and throw it this way, right? Because he couldn't move. Whereas Domas can move.
Looks like the Daryl Morey effect has already taken over here. Says Philadelphia is going to get Tyrese Maxey.
I was literally about to say that. I was like, Tyrese Maxey just straight score. I mean, they say he could play some defense too, but he's just going to get torch.
I mean, I thought they had something with Shake Milton. Says here Tyrese Maxey shot 83% from the free throw line on 120 attempts. So
That's pretty good. 83% at any time is pretty good.
And when he's one of those Kentucky guys, so you never know what's going to happen. He turned into Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
well, even if he's coming off the bench, which will probably be the first year at least, he's gonna be able to play well because he can at least play defense, and I think he shoots the three okay. I don't remember really with him.
So now with 10 picks left, that takes us to 11 o'clock. When do we stop?
I thought we were just doing lottery.
It never goes 10 picks. That's what we said
That-
last time, and it didn't happen.
Well, that's because we had teams of the people on there that needed to.
Yeah,
needed-
I'd prefer not to stay on this till the 54th pick of the second.
No,
round,
that's not going to
so-
happen. That would never happen. Are you kidding me? No, I was talking. Do we do first round? Do we stay on? Do we get off at some? Do we limit it to 10:30? What do we do here?
I think we could limit it to 10:30, just unless like we feel like we know enough about the prospects to create talking points. But
I
mean,
think
we
we're
don't-
I think we're running out of that time.
yeah, because I'm about to be like a lot of guys just getting picked. Like, yeah, he seems good. Good wingspan. Oh, that team's gonna be good.
He seems
Yeah.
like he fits with that organization.
Well-
Where's he from again?
It's just because now we're getting to the point where these guys aren't even going to be playing most likely. So
They're
we
going
can't
G League.
talk about how they're going to fit into the team. I'm just really just looking out for like people that I used to watch and like just seeing fan favorites. But like, I don't know some of these European guys that are about to go or some of these college guys. So
I know the guy from Barcelona. People
Yeah.
are high on him.
yeah,
Balmaro or things like that.
Leandro Bombaro or something.
The person I
can't-
saw was Evan Turner, but actually good.
And Aaron throws in the humor, but it's so dry that it's like it takes me a minute to catch it. Like it's good humor, but it's like it takes me a minute to. It's like smarter than me.
Yeah, you got to know your NBA.
It's smarter than me.
Well, and I saw Evan Turner on the Pacers, so we know how that worked out.
We all saw how that worked out.
That was going to be so much better than it was.
That turned out to be a disaster in and of itself. Yeah, the chat has lost steam as well. That might be the most active chat we've ever had in a YouTube video of any kind.
This is Aaron's friends spamming the chat.
Yeah, they pretty much were.
I can't pull. If I was to pull up YouTube, I would lose everything. I'd lose the draft. I'd lose the Zoom. It'd all fall apart.
I just want to see.
Tyrese Maxey to the Sixers.
Yeah. What do the Sixers do, honestly? Like, where do they go from here? I just feel like everybody keeps saying they're talented, but what do you do besides tell Ben to fix his jump shot?
I can give a hot take, but Chase can go first.
All reports say that Daryl wants to keep him, at least Embiid and Simmons, together for at least a year. So
Okay. Who do you get rid of?
I would keep Simmons.
Me too.
Just
that
because-
was going to be my hot take.
Just because if you spread the floor with him, we've already seen what it's like when Embiid goes down every now and then. It always has played well.
You know, I've been waiting to get to this next pick. It's Denver, right? I've been waiting to get to this next pick. What can put them over the top? What can make them a true contender?
I think it would have been Drew Holiday.
Just somebody for the bench, I guess.
Yeah, more bench depth. Like, I mean, Jamal Murray's arrived. Jokic is going to keep hooping. Gary Harris is good.
Right on the cusp. Harris is right there.
Yeah, like
You could get somebody to replace Paul Millsap since he's getting old.
And Millsap turned out a couple of times in the bubble during the playoffs. He balled out a couple of times when he had to.
He's
I
what?
think-
He's 35 though, isn't he?
I think he's a
He's
free
getting up
agent
there.
too.
yeah.
So
He had
they're
a 1
saying.
year.
So CBS is saying that the best fits R.J. Hampton, shooting guard out of I don't know where. You were talking about him, Kai.
Yeah.
Desmond Bain out of TCU, a small forward, and Xavier Tillman, a power out of Michigan State. Which actually that's not a bad fit, but where they've got who's the guy? Dang it! Oh, the tall
Monte Morris.
No, the other guy.
Michael Porter.
Porter Jr. I can never remember their names. Porter Jr. Now that guy could be a breakout star, but I don't know if his personality can fit.
Porter was here's like what I think they should do. I think they should draft Hampton because Hampton was projected to be one of those top picks. So I think, high reward, low risk. If he doesn't pan out, it is what it is. But I mean, it fits because while it's different reasons. I mean, Porter was also supposed to be a top 5 pick before he had back problems. I think if you do get Hampton and he does pan out, like that may put them over that edge. That may give you another star to work with.
Blake brings up, what about Tyrell Terry?
That's what I like that a lot.
Tyrell Terry?
For sure.
I like Monte Morris. The guy doesn't turn the ball over. I mean, he doesn't give you the scoring as much, but off the bench, he's not going to make a mistake, and he's going to play his butt off on defense.
I think they need a torch, though. I think that's what we saw. Like, you can't – I mean, Jamal Murray was putting them on their back. Jokic will always – I mean, he'll play, but, I mean, is he going to be that scorer all the time? You don't know. He's more of the passer, the rebounder. Like, I think they need to go for that torch off the bench to, like, change the momentum of the game if they're starting to lose it, besides running Murray down to the ground. They had no other choice this playoffs. He was playing amazing.
Two-man game.
Maybe
Yeah,
like the Tyrell
he wasn't
Terry.
missing a thing.
Yeah, maybe the Tyrell Terry or RJ Hampton. Those torches off the bench can help.
I mean, you also think about it, though. You're a Mike Conley inch and a half difference from Utah moving on, and the Nuggets not even getting to play in the second round. So they went to that OT with the Jazz in the first round. Mike Conley's barely off, and their entire system could be different looking. So
Exactly. If they lose that first round, like we are probably having a way different conversation. And I don't know how you evaluate their playoff run, I guess.
The Nugs?
Yeah, I don't know how you evaluate it.
Boy, I tell you what, you evaluate it by looking at them and going, you came back from 3-1 twice. You were down 3-1 twice.
what was it, down 15 plus in the 3 elimination games to the Clippers?
Yeah. I mean, you were down 3-1 in 2 playoff series and came back both times and won both. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's absolutely insane. So that says something about either their drive or just their sheer skill. I don't know. That's the part that is the question, Kai. And you're right about how do you explain that? But being able to say I came back from 3-1 down twice in the same playoff year says something about your ability. So, I think one of you said something about bench, and Jake agreed and said that they need depth. But the depth is what carried them to 2 3-1 series deficits and wins. Right? They only rode Murray because he was the horse. He was the horse, and in the 50-50 game with Mitchell, he wasn't missing. Neither one of them were.
Yeah.
And he wasn't missing much of that series. So I don't know, man. I've been wondering for a while since I was in the bubble, what's going to happen with Denver? Could they get themselves into a position to be a contender?
Well, they're here now. I think people have been waiting, and this is going to be their year where it's like, all right, you guys are here. You got to do something. But
I mean,
to
do
me,
you need a 6'2" point guard like Terry?
The Shams and Woj just said they're taking Zeke, that Arizona center.
Really?
So they're not going to believe in Bol down there.
You can't believe in Bol.
You got to work with him. That guy would, if you work with him, he is a demigod. He will not be stopped.
Bol?
What
Yeah.
was the lineup
This
Denver
guy
played
could
out
be
where they
too.
were all 6'10"?
It was like I
Bol
can't.
Bol, Jokic,
Jeremy
Plumlee.
Grant.
Plumlee, Grant. Where's Porter
Yeah,
on
they-
that?
Porter's like 6.
He's
He's-
like 6'7",
6'8", 6'9", I
6'8".
think.
I think he's 6'10".
6'10".
That's what I
Yeah,
was
he's
wondering.
6'10".
I'm wondering. I think was he one of those guys?
I can't remember. I was just laughing about the size, the sheer size they had out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
think-
6'10". So Porter was one of the ones on the floor for that. There's no way they wouldn't have had him on the floor for that. That's wild.
Am I wrong to be confused why they go? I felt like the games Bol played and he didn't play bad.
He was
felt
good.
like I felt like he was actually like on Twitter they were going crazy about him. That's why
It's the same thing with Pokasevsky, the Serbian. I mean, the Bol's a twig. I mean,
But
he's 7'2",
This guy's not
220.
this guy's not much thicker.
but Bol proved that he can. He went out there and he hooped. Like he went out there and he performed. That's why like
Yeah, but is he a guy that you know for sure you can turn to, or
I
is
thought
he,
that they didn't
or
give-
is he? Can he bang with a guy like Adebayo? Can he bang with a guy like Davis? That's
They
what's
didn't-
going to be required of a guy that size.
I just felt like they didn't give him an opportunity. And maybe this isn't them giving up on him, but if they do, I just felt like they didn't really give him an opportunity to show that because he didn't play that much.
Could this be a shot at depth?
If it is, I'm surprised they didn't go more on a guard side because don't they still have Plumlee and
Plumlee, I just looked it up because I was curious. He's 30 years old. Mason Plumlee's 30 years old, making $2.3 million. It says.
but I mean, if you're in a win now mode, I don't think that's bad. That's not a bad salary, and I mean,
The salary's not bad. The 30-year-old is a little bit higher than I think you want. But
if you're in a win now mode, I don't think 30 is bad, especially for a guy that he's not gonna be out there all the time.
that's true. He's a role player.
Well, you're also looking at Paul Millsap, who he's backing up, who's 35.
Right.
So
Well, then you got Jake saying, I think people just like the novelty of Bol, kind of like how people look at Taco Fall.
See, I understand that, but I personally feel like he performed. I felt like I was a little iffy on him at first too, but after seeing those games, I was like, all right, this guy, he's running the floor. Like he's doing fast breaks, he's shooting threes, getting ridiculous blocks and dunks. Like
wasn't there a sequence like he blocked a shot, got the rebound, ran up court, and then hit a transition three?
yeah.
Like that was the play that everyone went crazy over.
That's why I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I guess I'm not in Denver's front office, so
Does that give them trade bait?
if I'm a team, if they're not going to use them, I'm definitely going to.
I mean, they have so many pieces that they have, like Torrey Craig, Will Barton. They have all these pieces that they can just move that they've drafted. So, I mean, they have a ton of things they can do.
So you were Aaron. You'd mentioned something about you didn't understand why they didn't go guard. Was that you?
I said
I said just go Tyrell Terry. I didn't say much, but
So you would have preferred a guard.
yeah, probably. But also for the Nuggets, if Vic starts playing back up to form, they might try to run at him too. If you think about it,
To put him
They went
where?
too.
They went for Drew Holiday. Like that was reported for a defensive guard.
in their lineup, it's probably gonna be Murray, Harris, Porter,
Jeremy Grant.
Grant.
Or does he play at the 3?
He's a free agent.
Yeah,
He is a free
think Porter's
agent. I
actually-
figured they bring him back.
Do you really bring someone like Vic in?
I don't
If
think
he's playing back up to form, because he's way better than Gary Harris. I don't know
like
if you
Gary
have a lot of
Harris
faith in him.
personally. I
Gary
think they
Harris-
keep Harris. I don't think they go for Vic.
Gary Harris is really good.
I think Harris has got a lot of upside to him.
What would the Pacers get back would be the thing.
I'm
Does
saying a hypothetical situation if Vic gets anywhere close to form.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree
But
with you.
If they
That's-
were to like trade,
That's going to
who would
be
they
the way
want?
it is with any team. Can he get back to form? I think he's going into free agency. I think the Pacers are going to have to hang on to him for 2021. He's going into free agents and he's gone. And I think the Pacers, in my opinion, I'm a Vic fan and I have been, but I'm here to tell you, hang on to him, because if he doesn't improve and get back to form, well, you're going to be losing nothing.
But then,
You know what I'm saying?
But do you take the chance, if he is performing at the first half of this next season at the deadline, try to move him for assets instead of just losing him at free agency?
All right. So now you're talking something different. If he does get up to form and he starts balling out, now you've got him. Now you've got two mechanisms. You've got the trade deadline ahead. And if you lose him, what if he tanks the second half? Right?
It's not hurting the Pacers if they get the trade off, because
I mean, it's a win-win in a lot of ways for the Pacers, because if he does ball out, they're going to win. If he doesn't ball out, well, what are they going to do? I mean, yes, at the end of free agency, you look at him and you go, if you don't want to re-sign, then go. We've dealt with this drama before with Paul George, but we wanted to play it because if I was done with PG, I would have looked at him and said, no, we're not shipping you out. See how you do. And if you don't ball out, guess what? You're worthless to everyone. Now what you going to do? You know what I mean? I know that sounds like it's a very cynical way of looking at things, but you want to put us out there and embarrass the franchise? Fine. We'll hang on to you. Let's see how it pans out for you.
That's what I can see the Rockets doing with Harden or Westbrook.
I think that for everybody. I think if you're going to call out a franchise that's paying you multi-millions of dollars a year and you're going to say, I don't want to be here. Okay, bro. Well, you're still under contract. We will pay you your salary. You better ball the hell out.
Then do you get a Davis situation with the Pelicans where he was saying he's hurt, but he just didn't play.
And then what you do is you come out in the media and say, why is he not playing? He's fine. And you just bury him in the media. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's a very cynical way of doing it, but you want to bury us? Okay, well, we'll bury you.
I think it's a players' league now, because
player empowerment.
What players would want to play for you after you did that to another player? You got to look at it.
But the player also has to look at what happened with the player.
No, for sure. I'm just saying it's a player-oriented league now, so it's not going to be fair for the teams. Like, players can call out teams now, and I mean that's just the new way. That's just how it is now, and teams are kind of just forced to trade them or just get embarrassed. And then if you do like what you're saying, just hold on to him. I mean, just depending on how bad it gets, some players just might not want to play for you because the way you treated somebody else. I don't know. That's just how. I'm not saying it's fair for the teams, but
if you look at all the media and all the stuff that's been covered with the way he has talked, according to Jay Michael, he's literally told people, I want to come play for you. Now, whether or not those reports are true, I don't know. But if he's telling people that, shouldn't a player look at another player and say, what are you doing, bro?
Who is this for? Harden or
Vic?
Or for Vic?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that a question though that you as a player should be asking? What are you doing, bro?
I think before it was, but now, I mean, I don't know. It depends on who he's saying it to. But if he's saying it to like Jimmy Butler or something, for example, he's like, I want to come play with you. That's just the league now. People want to you want to go team up, make teams, and that's
a tough one to accept.
Denver just got another player. New Orleans is apparently it's going to pick RJ Hampton and send him to Denver, like Kai was saying. He would like to see.
Yeah, great pick. I think it's exactly like a Porter situation. Not exactly the same as Porter was injured, but another guy that has superstar potential, but the stock has fallen. And if they hit with that, that might put him over the edge.
His main thing is shooting. He's a great athlete, but they're not sure if he'll be able to shoot.
Knicks also got Leandro Bombaro, if you guys.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I don't even know.
They're trading him to Minnesota.
Yes, I saw that.
The Knicks
for number 25 and the 33rd pick.
So they're getting their point guard, which makes sense now why they went OB Toppin instead of a guard.
Yeah. Huh.
There's also fear that Klay Thompson tore his other Achilles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it's the left leg instead of the right.
he
now.
did ACL.
Yes.
Clay did ACL. He didn't do Achilles.
Yes.
Is it fear of an Achilles injury now, though?
Yeah, on the other leg.
Yeah, on the other leg.
Ooh,
That's tough.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
I hope that's not true.
Noah McMillan in the chat said he came out and denied the statements.
Clay did? Or
I'm guessing.
No, Vic. He
that's
went
what
through.
he's talking.
No, he's talking about Vic when
he's
Vic
talking
went
about
through
Vic.
shams. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Shams, yeah.
And his sister. His sister was talking about on Twitter.
and then they dimed out Miles, and Miles is like, "Oh, it'd be like that, huh?"
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw that tweet. So, RJ Hampton to the Bucks. Proposed trade to New Orleans, though.
It says that it's
going to
for
Nuggets.
New Orleans, but he's going to the Nuggets because New Orleans is picking for them.
Wow. So they pick up RJ Hampton too.
The Nuggets do, yes.
So there's your other guard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy athletic athlete.
That's actually a pretty big move right there to bring. Yeah, that's
Who
a
are they
pretty big
giving up
move.
though? Are they doing picks or are they giving a player? That's what I haven't
All
been
it
able to
says is-
see.
Yeah, Woj hasn't said anything yet, but I assume they have to ship. Maybe they ship off. I don't know. I don't know who they ship off.
Maybe Bobo, but I don't know.
Bol go. Wait, where would he go to the Bucks, or would he go to the?
Bull would, I think, go to New Orleans if that was
That
who
would
they
be
were to give up.
awesome.
Okay, I thought he was about to go to the Bucks. I was about to be like, oh no.
Would it just be another Thon Maker situation then, though?
That is
Von
that's
Maker.
true.
Blake says future picks is what Twitter is saying.
Future pick.
Gotcha.
That's fine. I mean,
I have so many notifications going off, I can't keep up with it all. So.
Welcome to the world of being a sports reporter.
yeah.
Agnes was getting buried as he was talking to us. You didn't see the dirt. I did. He was getting buried. And he kept looking down, and I kept noticing.
saw him
and,
glancing.
Oh, man, he was getting buried.
I don't know how you
That's-
manage 5 monitors at the same time.
Oh,
I've got 4 actually with my Surface.
I have a laptop, a mic, the cheapest mic I could find on Amazon, and my phone.
this headset's good enough.
I've got
use
4
that.
going on, and I actually want to get a 5th. But I can also put 4 windows on my 32-inch monitor. So
Shams just said OKC is getting Emmanuel quickly, but he's going to the Knicks.
So another point guard.
So
Another
hey,
guard.
Kai, what you wanted is happening.
For the Knicks.
No, for all of it. What you
Hampton.
wanted is happening now.
Oh yeah.
Here they come, the late round trades. It wasn't early, it was late.
Yeah.
I was expecting a lot more early picks
You
or
get
trades.
your
though.
convoluted 3-player plus cash deal.
I wish
About to get a Kyle Korver traded for a printer.
3 players with a printer and the washing machine included.
I will
Ugh.
say though, even though the T-Wolves didn't trade away that number 1 pick, I mean they have picked up a lot of players this draft.
Yeah, they've done a lot.
Like,
See, I
there's
liked
just-
it better. I liked it better when the commission would come on and say they pick so and so, and now that pick has been traded to so and so. But they're so convoluted in the NBA that it's that pick has been traded to that team, who's going to then trade it to that team, the rights of which are going to go to that team, plus cash and a washer and a new team plane.
Who were all in the trades earlier in the season when it was like the Timberwolves, the Nuggets? There was like a 4 or 5 team trade that swapped like everything around.
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember. There's been
That
so many
was-
of them. I don't even remember.
I forgot his name. That was the forgot his name. What is it? Malik Beasley. He went from the Nuggets to the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
That was
Hi,
that
boys.
deal.
Do we hold out and get these remaining 5, or do we go?
I don't care.
Yeah, up to you guys. I feel like we found more talking points now. Just talking about
Well, we kind of went away from the draft.
Yeah, but like,
you know what? There's
teams
so
do
many
you?
out there that we could talk. So many things we could talk about. We could talk about Daniel House and his incident in the bubble.
I think that was manipulated by the Rockets.
No, it wasn't. It was absolutely 100% true. It was 100% true. You know how I know it was 100% true? Because he got
You were
caught.
there.
No, he got caught. He got caught. His magic band turned him in.
Ooh.
Yeah, the key to the door turned him in.
Oh.
Yeah, that I know that. I know because I had one, and I know that every time I clocked into my room, it knew what time I came in and what time I went out. Yeah, so when I heard that the investigation had unveiled that his magic band had matched the time someone had seen her in the hallway, I went, "Oh, that's just concrete evidence. There's your smoking gun, bro." And I think it was that point that he already had his stuff packed and he was on his way home.
Oof. He was playing well too.
Well as he could for being the fourth role player off the bench for a team that all
Did
they
you
did was
have-
rely on 30-footers.
Did you have a favorite game that you were able to watch?
Oh, Denver, Utah, 50-50 game. There was actually, it was 1 and 2. So one was the 50-50 game, and the second one was the second game I did, and that was Houston, Dallas on national TV when it went overtime. And it was like 142 to 140.
Oh,
I mean, guys were just going off in that game. I think Luka had a triple-double in that game, or was close.
How many didn't he have a triple-double in?
It was, I think Harden had one too. I mean, it was wild. I'm pretty sure Westbrook had one. It was wild. I mean, that game
That
was
was
crazy.
one of the first. That was
That
one
was
of the
day
first games
2.
back,
That was
right?
day
Yeah.
2. Yep. It was on national TV at 9:00 at night. It was our second game of the day. And I was a primary inputter for that. And it was insane. I mean, it was just back and forth, went overtime. But that Denver, Utah game, man, just watching Murray and Mitchell just pull up with hands in their faces. And it was just pure. You're just sitting there going, oh, I mean, why can't we have him in Indy? You know, either one of them.
It was a 2v2 practically. Like 3 guys stand in the corners, pick and roll. That was it for the last like 5 minutes.
It was like that for most of the game. I mean, Murray pulled up, I think, a couple of times from almost the logo. And Mitchell tried to match him, and I think he missed the one from the logo. You calling me a snitch, Jake? If you're calling me a snitch, no, it's the Magic Band. That's called Disney World snitching on itself, bro. Timeout coming. Yeah, I don't see no response to that one, Jake.
So
I'm getting salty.
I wonder if the Celtics are just going to keep all 3 first-round picks then.
What it's looking like.
Yeah, the Magic Band was the snitch, Jake. Well done. You saved yourself there, bro.
Could they take that Maladon from
I think
France?
they should take Tyrell Terry. I don't know how he's still on the board.
I think people are just scared of his height. There's so many small guards that can just pop off in college that just don't translate to the NBA.
I feel like Trae Young would kind of make that a little bit more, I don't know, like, okay, like it can kind of work out. Like they could take a risk on him, especially now when we're in the 20s. Like that guy could end up being a Trae Young type of player. I don't know.
Aaron Holiday is the same height as him. No, he's shorter than him. And Aaron Holiday popped off this year. They're taking
I think Aaron's
Peyton Pritchard.
6'1", 6'2".
Yeah. He's streaky, but I like him.
Noah, I wasn't there for the TJ Warren 50 piece. If I would have been there, yes, but I was not there for the TJ Warren 50 piece. I watched it.
Peyton Pritchard with the 26th pick.
Oh, that was one of my guys. I like Pritchard. I always feel like these senior guards that come out of college always do really well in the NBA. Like as like rotation players. You think of like Frank Mason. There's another one.
He hasn't turned out too well, but he's done good enough.
Jake, that might be the coldest take of the night.
Devontae.
Alex Caruso MVP next season.
Wasn't he saying Defensive Player of the Year 2 in the sports management meeting?
Yeah, I don't know what his problem is, but he always has the coldest, rawest, iciest takes. Like they're terrible. Like they're not even close.
That Caruso actually he came from a meme to an important rotation player. I thought that was funny.
He's good on defense.
So Noah, who is it? Who would be the bait? Which player would be the bait for Turner in Boston? You know, you're asking if one of these Boston picks will be what we trade Turner for. Well, who would be the one? Who would be the bait? Who do you trade Turner for in this class?
This late, I don't. Unless they want that Naismith guy that bad, but
the two guys I still think that'll be good is it Cassius Winston?
Yeah,
from Michigan State.
Yep.
He's so smart.
I'm telling you, these senior guards, man, like
Pritchard to Boston.
I like that pick for them.
Well, he seems
he's
thrilled.
Oregon, right?
Yeah, he's from Oregon. He's a Duck.
He seems thrilled.
I just know, here it is. 41.5% on 212 3-point attempts. So, I mean,
he seems thrilled.
He wanted to go higher.
He's probably not even going to get that much playing time either.
Yeah.
Unless he takes it, I don't even know the guard's name from Boston that backs up at point guard.
Brad Wanamaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
KOC here has him as shades of Fred Van Vliet and Shabazz Napier.
Fred Van Vliet is another one.
To be at a high level and never been dribbling. Peyton Pritchard with ice in his veins. So I would get up in the mornings around
Almost there, boys. 4 to go.
I think Peyton Pritchard would be a lot better if he was related to Kevin. I'd give him more props.
Who could
So-
the Jazz take?
Blur Wolf has the greatest take in the chat. What do you mean? Edmund Sumner winning MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, and Coach of the Year.
Edmund Sumner's so good, but nobody gives him the credit for it.
He's very raw still, Aaron. He's still very raw. If he could get some time up with the big club and get some real training under his belt, oh my gosh, he could be a legit player, but he's
With
so
an actual
raw.
good coach.
Watching him play, he's so talented, but he's so raw. You know, I mean, you could see that just by his drives and the way he pulls up, and it's just you're going, man, this guy could be so good, but he's so raw. But he reminds me of Turner early in his career.
I think Nate Bjorken will turn around some of the young players.
See, Noah's talking about a bunch of reports that Boston wants Turner, and they don't have much to give us at the moment unless one of the picks tonight was the bait. But who? Which one of the picks would be the ones that you – I mean, is it all three?
No, because
You already have Holland. You don't want Pritchard. You have Aaron.
I've seen reports that the Pacers would have to be the ones giving up picks because Hayward's better than Turner at the moment. Which I don't like that.
Yeah.
The
I'd rather
Pacers
keep
don't want to move up,
Miles.
so they
I
don't
have not bought into Miles. I've been trying every year that I've worked for the Pacers, and I have not bought into him.
I
think he
still
works in-
see. I
What'd you
I
say,
still
love
Kai?
see.
Miles.
What'd you say, Kai?
I was just saying he works in the right system, I feel.
Boy, I tell you, I just he isn't improving in the things I think he needs to improve in.
I just think he's not going to be a guy that's going to bang down low. I think
And-
that's just kind
And
of,
with his body, he has to.
but I think you need to surround him with other guys that will. And like, if he goes to Boston, you have a guy like Tice that's what Tice does.
That's what Domas does. Domas will go down there, and he's smaller than Turner.
Yeah, that's true.
He's automatic with the left
he
on
will,
the block.
And he will throw bows. He will take shots to the chin. He does what it takes. But Turner, when he drives to the basket and has a 900 foot long wingspan and leaps from the elbow, he should be jamming that over 9 guys. But instead, he goes and does this. That's what he does.
I think it's just like Turner's just not like a top option. Like it would work with Tice's, like that's what Tice's job is. All right. And then you have Turner that will pick and pop, but then you have Jason Tatum and like Jaylen Brown and Kemba. And those are your guys. Like I don't think Turner's like a 1 or 2 option. but I think he's still like a solid player.
And maybe Brad does.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
Brad sees something that maybe he sees that one piece that's missing in Miles.
I'll die on a hill saying that Nate McMillan was not good for Miles' career.
I just don't think Miles Turner has that mean
Killer
streak
instinct.
that you need.
Killer instinct.
He doesn't have a mean I'm sure he has like something that he pulls from, but he doesn't have that mean side of him.
He's not going to step on a guy's throat. He's gonna hold him down and then he's gonna let him up. He's not going to step on his throat. And we need guys at the Pacers that are going to step on people's throats.
Exactly.
Finish the job. You know what I mean?
That's why he'd work in Boston, because there's other guys
that will finish it for him. So yes,
other guys that are your enforcers. You can't have Miles as the enforcer, but
see, he could be a 4 right alongside Tice.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, it'll be Kemba, like Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Turner, Tice,
and Tice. Yep.
And Tice is just his job enforce. Miles Turner job pick and pop. Kemba, Jason, Jaylen, they're like your main scorers. And like that thinking about that lineup actually is really nice.
And you've got Turner picking and popping for 3 guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But the biggest problem that Miles had was what? Aaron, what was the biggest problem Miles had?
Nate McMillan as his coach.
The inconsistency.
He is dying on that hill, folks. He's dying on that hill. No, his biggest weakness was he didn't know how to lay a screen.
Yeah, that's true. Sabonis is really good at that.
He was too busy rolling off the screen. He wasn't laying the screen, dropping a guy, turning around and going and dunking it over another one.
See, that's why I like Killian Tilly for him. I don't think they'll get him. I think he'll go before that. But all the screens you see on his highlights and all that, and in the games, he sets it, they get stuck to him, and he sneaks out. Yep. It's just like open for that 3-ball instantly.
I like this take. Noah said that I think that Nate's new system benefits Turner, who can stretch the floor. Old Nate's system didn't work to Turner's strengths. I like the new Nate versus old Nate.
Yeah. I don't know how to say his last name, so I just say Coach Nate.
Isn't it Bjorkgren?
Bjorkgren, yeah.
Bjorkgren. I'll get there, but
there was a pop star back in the day by the name of Bjork, Bjork. Yeah, back in the day, BITD there. My day.
I do say though, just don't. I just say keep the players and see how they do under the new coach. You never know. I mean, maybe
fair enough. That's a fair point.
But if Miles needed to go, then trade him. But with this new coach, maybe just see what happens.
Kyle must be talking to Kennedy. She must be home.
I am. I have to go get gas in the car for her in the morning at some point tonight. She didn't want to go to the gas station alone.
I don't blame her.
It's dark outside.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when the sun goes down. It gets dark.
You live downtown. It doesn't surprise me.
She's sending me out.
I mean, I don't go to a gas station. I live on 38th Street though, or at least close to it. So
yeah, you need to fill up when you're outside of town and make sure that it's you have 3 full cans in your trunk.
I went to that Speedway down the street. Not bad. There was nobody there.
You talking about the one by the zoo?
Yeah, I went I was just bored. It was like one of my first days I was back.
Yeah, but that's the edge of hell right there. That's the good edge. The good edge.
Yeah, I was about to say
I'm in the middle, so
yeah, you're in a weird environment up there where you're at, Chase.
Oh, it's interesting, that's for sure.
Here's your pizza.
Especially coming from a farming town where
where you have one gas station that has one light at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I went to 38th Street and
that's why Chase has 3 bottles of gas in his trunk. Enough to fill up his tank. He can just pull in the parking lot and go, don't need it. Just fill up from my trunk.
I'm going to dip back to this Lakers pick.
It's actually Timberwolves.
It's the Timberwolves now, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Timberwolves get another player
I
here.
don't know what Kyle was trying to pull on that one, but
They got Jaden McDaniels.
It just says Lakers pick is in it. I didn't know.
so as a bouquet to the Jazz. Whoa.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember who
He's a
that
guy
is.
from Kansas.
Udoka as a bouquet.
Just all rebounding and
Yeah, he's a 7-foot rebounder.
Gotcha.
he's basically another Gobert, honestly.
They could be ready to get rid of him.
That'd be interesting.
I don't know if I believe the whole Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert
He
put
has
past in the past.
he has to develop offensively. There is no such thing as just being a lockdown center if you're the main part of your team.
So you're Jaden McDaniels right now, and you've just been picked by the defending champions.
Yeah.
And
But no, he's going to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
does
he's
he know
going to
that?
Timberwolves.
Yeah, I think
I'm assuming so.
Are you?
The Timberwolves called him.
Well, they were celebrating pretty hard about the Lakers.
Did he have a Lakers hat?
I think so.
They need to get rid of that. You put on the wrong hat. Half these teams have been
I
picked
think I
trades.
read something that they have to put on the hat that
The team that drafted him.
Yeah.
But how do you feel if you don't know that you're being traded right away and you're getting drafted by the champs?
And then you're going
with
to the
LeBron,
first
and you're
pick.
going to the Timberwolves.
Personally, I'm just happy I'm in the NBA, but that's just me.
Well, that might be the case too.
You know?
But oh man, well, and actually, it's only proposed; it hasn't been approved yet. So, but it will be obviously. But that just makes me laugh.
I think there's like a pretty big money difference between getting picked in the first round and the second round.
Oh
So
yeah,
that could also be a part of
I don't
it.
know. That was a pretty hard celebration and some pretty big smiles right there on the family's part.
I think that the contract changes too, doesn't it? Like it goes second round is like a 1 year with like a 2-year extension, and then first rounders are 2 year with the 2 year.
I'm gonna dip, my guys. I gotta go to the gas station.
Thanks, co-host and mod.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for all your
It was a
insight.
great night, and thanks for all that insight.
I didn't really put much insight because I don't really know anything.
Well,
Even if it's on
you
your
admitted
jersey?
it. You said it from the beginning, even though you've got the Minnesota jersey on. You knew
Well,
it. You nailed it.
I've had this for a while now.
Hey,
You even know who it is?
You trooped through it, man.
This is Carl Anthony Towns, but I don't even think the NBA is sponsored by Adidas anymore. So
Nope.
that just shows you how long I've actually had it. Probably like 10th grade, 11th grade.
Well, he was
It's only
drafted
been
in
in the league since-
2015.
yeah.
Don't give yourself too much.
Yeah, so that would have
Guys, he's a senior.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it may have been sophomore year of high school.
been. Yeah, I mean, I graduated in 2017. So. Not that old, Aaron. You turd.
Bye.
Bye.
I didn't even realize it was Adidas on there.
I don't even think they use that jersey anymore.
They don't.
No. They have that green one that they use.
I think Toronto picks Theo Maldon here. Just random, but I feel it. Or Theo Maldon.
Well, Van Vliet could be gone. He wants to get paid. He said that.
Weren't the Knicks talking about giving him a max deal or something?
The Knicks would give anyone a max deal.
Well, he's a free agent, so and so's Ibaka. Wow.
I know the Lakers want Ibaka.
Timberwolves really got a haul here, though. I'm not gonna
Boys,
lie.
boys, I have literally been on Zoom since 10:30 this morning.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
I've taken like a 3-hour break. That's all I've taken all day. My ears are starting to hurt from these headphones.
I'm going to see if I can find the upside potential count. I'm sure I can find it on Twitter somewhere.
We are on the last two, and it is going to take us to 11 o'clock. At least it's not 12:40 like it was for the NFL, Kai.
Ooh.
Yeah, that NFL one was.
Bro, we went 4.5 straight hours.
I thought you were gonna talk about doing the MLB draft too. I was gonna have to be I can't.
No,
The MLB one is like,
no.
and I don't even know anybody.
When 16-year-olds are getting picked at number 1 and they're not going to play for 4 years, no way.
I never understood the MLB draft.
I cannot keep up with the MLB.
The MLB draft is not about drafting players. It's about drafting the rights to players.
Yeah.
It's about getting that first guy, that big dog, the Josh Hamiltons of the world, who end up flaming out because they fall into drugs and whatnot, and because they don't know how to manage their lives at that age with that kind of money.
Josh Hamilton, though, didn't he? I think he like kind of went through some stuff because when he hit that foul ball and a fan tried to go for it.
Long before that, when he was drafted, he got into coke. He got into coke pretty hard, and it's documented out there. He got into it pretty hard, but he was a first-round pick, young. Number 1 overall pick, very young. Once you're given that signing bonus of multi-millions of dollars, that's what he said. I mean, he documented in the story and said, I spent it on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that he lost his career, but then he got it back, and then I honestly would have said he kind of went nuts after tossing that ball up and that guy falls. That guy fell over the rail. That put him back on the edge, I think, and then he relapsed.
Yeah.
Malachi Flynn got taken by the Raptors, by the way.
Malachi Flynn. Okay.
I only know him because he's compared to Aaron Holiday, so I had to.
Aaron, if this was a Pacers thing, Aaron would be so into it. See, that's what we need to do, is we need to do like social stuff like this with like Pacers games and college football. And that's what I proposed to Kyle a few times, is get a good college football Saturday and just leave Zoom on. Just leave Zoom on and have it like a sports bar.
IU's about to make the playoffs.
Like, they are going.
Boys, I'm an IU guy.
That's not happening.
They are about to get assaulted this weekend.
Who do they play?
Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
The end of their run is coming Saturday.
It was a good run. They're top 10.
Yep,
what if they win? You never know.
They're going to get beat by 50. They're going to get run off that field.
All I know is I don't follow that close. I just know Boston finally moved to pick, apparently, by Woj.
Michael Penix and Stevie Scott.
And Peyton Hendershot and the wide receiver, Freifogel.
He had an insane.
Ty Freifogel, I think his name is. They're pretty good, but Ohio State.
It's Ohio State.
And it's in the horseshoe. It's at Columbus.
Yeah,
it's going to get ugly quick. I love IU, and I just when I saw that they were coming up next, I went, this could be bad.
What is IU ranked right now?
8 or 9.
And what's Ohio State, like 4 probably?
I didn't see this week's rankings. I just saw IU, but they've got to be top 3.
Because I know Notre Dame's 2.
It's Alabama 1. Notre Dame.
Alabama's got to be 1.
Well, Clemson was. Then they got beat. Bama was 1, and then they didn't play.
Oh.
Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, or Bama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Clemson.
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew they were in the top 3, but it's a tough.
Texas A&M, Florida, Cincinnati, BYU, Indiana's 9th. It says.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis got the 30th pick. It says.
I was waiting for it to say Indiana. I shouldn't have even got my hopes up.
No, don't get your hopes up. Scotty even said it. They're not doing anything.
Oh, I know the Pacers. They're not doing anything. And if you said we were going to talk Pacers, I would have talked about the ownership by now. I would have ripped into the ownership by now.
Oh, you can't do that.
Ownership really.
I would have had to keep my mouth
dude.
shut there.
I don't know.
They signed the paychecks. I would have to stop. I would have to stop there and disappear from the chat.
Well, it's just like
Grizzlies are targeting Desmond Bain.
Can't be content being a 4 to 6 seed every year.
They are, and they won't tank, and
you got to do something.
They won't. Mediocrity every year. It's so fun.
It's hard when you can't go into the luxury tax, though, and every superstar wants to leave.
Yeah.
because you can't pay high into luxury tax when you're a smaller city.
Well, that they're not saying they can't. It's just that they're not going to. Let's just leave it at that.
So with 30 picks and Tyrell Terry is still on the board. I don't understand that. at
He's
all.
going to be a steal, I think.
Tyrell Terry to the Pacers. Second
I
round.
sure hope so.
If he makes it all the way to 54 and they don't take him, I will be mad.
Aaron will take back everything he said about the Pacers if they take
I'll
him.
FaceTime Kevin Pritchard and yell at him on the spot. But that he's not going to fall that far. I think somebody good might fall though.
So this is the end of round 1, yes?
Yes.
Thank God.
You get to stop looking at a computer screen.
I really have to.
Honestly, this wasn't as bad as the NFL one.
Not at all. No. Yeah.
I like basketball more though, so it could be that.
You could tell that there was more prep for the NFL one.
Yeah.
You could tell that there was more prep needed.
More prep needed, or we had more prep for it?
Both.
Yeah.
Because you could tell that you guys knew off the top of your head some of this stuff, whereas the NFL you didn't, because there were so many picks on the table.
I think it was better that we knew. I researched some guys, but once I got the basic understanding, I was like, all right. Oh, I know some of these guys.
And he's going to Memphis.
Dang.
From TCU.
Did Memphis not have a first round pick?
They had the 14th, and that went to the Celtics in a pick swap.
Oh, yep. Okay.
We've reached the end, boys.
There's one more, right? Or no?
No, this
No,
is it. That's the
30.
first round. So my question to you, and I'm going to end it this way, is you guys have been through all picks. So who's your draft leader as of right now?
Got to be the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves.
Yeah, I was
They made so many moves.
Disappointed they didn't. Okay, well, I didn't know their plan. So now knowing their plan, it makes more sense why they took Anthony Edwards, because they've gotten a lot of players.
They've got Rubio. They got all the backups they need.
Yeah, they really filled out their roster. So definitely Timberwolves. Surprising the Timberwolves had a good draft.
Yeah.
That's very surprising to me. We don't even know how some of these guys ended out, are going to end up, but they had a good draft so far.
Well, you'll have to keep watching. What is it, tomorrow? Or check it out tomorrow. I don't even know if it's on TV tomorrow. Probably have to check it out online. All right, so just a couple of housekeeping items. Thanks, guys. Kai, Aaron, Chase. Kyle left us, so I'm not going to thank him like I would normally for coming on. We had Scotty Agnes on. So happy about that. So we're going to have to start planning. So anybody in the chat for the club, you're going to have to help me start planning. We want to do some social stuff. We want to do it. Try to keep you guys going on this stuff. We've got the speaker series still going over break. We want to try to get some social stuff going on over break where we maybe get together on Zoom or something, kind of like a sports bar type deal. Okay. So throw some ideas into the group me, on the chat and see what you think, pick a date or something and we can figure something out. Cause we got a long period of time where we're going to all be off. So, we're trying to keep y'all engaged and this is the best way we can think to do it. Again, December 4th, 1:00. It's SMC Virtual Speaker Series with Cam Fuller from the Horizon League. Kai, thank you. Aaron, thank you. Chase, thank you for providing some deep insight into the NBA draft here today. We'll be doing more of this stuff, so keep your eyes open. Follow us on social. I think it's at SMC_IUPUI on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, so check us out anytime. Check out the YouTube channel. All of the Speaker Series stuff is right there. And if you need something, definitely reach out to any of these guys if you have questions or anything like that.